And I told her, well, dude.
WHD2 Miami, WKIS HD2 Boca Raton, the home of the Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat, the Eastern Conference champion Florida Panthers, the Miami Hurricanes, and Inter Miami.
Powered by Anna Joran Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
An Odyssey station.
If love and Gogi is wrong, I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
Tobin Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the stars with the show, and till then it's half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof, like I always wanted him. I never hated him. I never traded him. And if I did, I never ever traded him. What is a star? Like another city, the driver's side flag. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube and view it for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, what they gonna do next?
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
What's going on, everybody? Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Take you up until 2 here on the program. It's a lovely day out there, and the man who told us to stop quibbling, we will talk to later on today, and that is Tommy Hutton.
That cowboy hat gonna go good with that bustier you're gonna be wearing.
Don't say a bustier. You don't have to do that. I like that there bustier you got on there. You look pretty. Marcos is also, it's Western Day here at the office. Everybody's dressed like cowboys. I don't know what Marcos has going on there. What is that? He's making me feel like I want to do some tequila. Yeah, like what do you like? Are you eat, on a paddle boat? Like what do you
eat some tacos? You got a Mexican hat on. That's not a cowboy hat. It doesn't have a Cuban flag on it.
Oh,
isn't it a Cuban flag?
No. You gotta inverse it.
It's a Puerto Rican flag, but I tell you what, there's more than one kind of cowboy. All right,
rhinestone.
Nah, soy del campo.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. My fiance just told me to say that. It means I'm from the countryside.
Oh,
let's see if I throw that one out there.
I think JFig is JFig actually coming in by horseback today.
Soy del campo.
Hey,
I'm not
sure. For nothing.
Yeah,
my wife tells me to say stuff to people in French, and I ain't buying it because they all look like they're on the edge of their seat ready to chuckle. I'm like, oh hell no, you ain't getting me.
Damn it. Lawrence says Tobin looks like a Widestone cowboy. Never stops.
Hey, 6 minutes in.
Not even.
Oh, God.
I don't think this town is big enough for the both of us, Tobin.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Wait. You just opened up the door. Hold on. He just opened up the door. Somebody got to get him.
Soy del campo.
Oh, my God. Anyway, welcome on in, everybody. Let's get to our headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Look, I'm no football guru, but I was doing some scouting last night of the New York Football Giants, the Dolphins' next opponent, and we better get some sacks against them, but we can't sack nobody.
Oh, my goodness. What did they give up, 10?
10. There's been some crazy sack numbers being put up lately. Like Khalil Mack had 7 this past week. You had 9 from the Bills the week before the Dolphins. There's been some outlandish numbers people are throwing up there.
Here's the issue. What I'm starting to realize, though, is a lot of these other teams are blitzing. And they're trying to force the quarterback, speed up his clock. And I don't think they really want to do that with Tua. So they kind of sit back a little bit, but they will bring pressure. And I'll tell you this, after watching the game last week, you know what the Giants are saying? We should be able to get after him without bringing any additional rushers.
Oh, I'm sure everybody's saying that, but I think the Dolphins, I'm thinking to myself, hey, Dolphins, this defense has kind of stunk up the joint lately. Don't lose.
Not to Daniel Jones.
Not even just that entire team is like on offense. Leroy, they are. Whew.
Yeah. I wonder is Saquon coming back this week?
I don't know. They definitely need him. But even like, on top of the 10 sacks, that awful pick 6 that Daniel Jones threw.
Oh my goodness.
And Dayball was pissed.
It's even more amazing. They paid Daniel Jones about $40 million a year, right? Who's the most important player on that offense?
Oh, Saquon.
And they refused to pay him. Now, I don't know, like, I get it for some teams, that running back by committee stuff works because you don't have a definitive guy that stands out that he can be your workhorse. But in the situation of Saquon Barkley, when your whole offense goes as he does, how can you not deem that dude important?
It's clear they're clearly struggling without him. But man, I'm telling you right now, you want to look what's right for. I think the Dolphins are 10.5 point favorites.
I hate that. I
think it's the biggest line of the week.
I hate that.
Why?
I just hate because here's why. The Dolphins could go out and win by 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some, because of the betting line, will view that as a not good win. You should have dominated them. You should have did this. And I always, and so even when we pick games, I try to avoid picking big favorites simply because, like, these games are a lot. You've had a couple of blowouts early in the season, but for the most part, they're pretty competitive until the end. And maybe the strongest team with the strongest weapons or whatever pulls it out in the end. But that game, you can say what you want about Seattle. That game was really close, except for some boneheaded plays by the Giants.
I mean, it wasn't a blowout till that pick 6, but
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and here's the thing: at the end of the game, when you're up by, say, 10 points, right? You're playing prevent. They go down the field and score with 3 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are the things that happen because you're trying to secure a win. You don't give a damn about a point spread.
But you have to agree, like the Dolphins, just much like they were against the Broncos, you would have to agree the Dolphins. Look, I get it. What happened this past weekend was embarrassing, but let's not lose perspective. This is still a good Dolphins team.
Yeah,
that has far more talent than that Giants team.
No,
they have some things they certainly have to fix. But I'm just talking like if the Dolphins can get up on this Giants team, the idea of them having to chase you for points is kind of laughable.
Right. Well, I'm not here. I wasn't saying that because of the Dolphins. I was saying that more because of any big spread in the NFL. I always try to avoid them because it's too easy to score right at the end and cover, even though you weren't really close.
Dade South with a 1-2 punch on both of us, Marcos.
I saw them both.
He refers to me as Miranda Hambert.
A lot of ham. He uses a lot of ham puns with you.
Dade South also refers to Marcos as Shania Kane Toad.
Point for Twitcher.
Jesus.
Oh man, you opened the door for that.
Earlier was Ribbit McIntyre.
So they start sending them in before the show starts.
Indian Ross says Tobin dressed like a cowboy makes me feel bad for his horse.
Can't even celebrate.
Horses are very strong.
I've seen some of them droopy hipped horses walking around in Davie.
Yep.
The saggers.
So yeah, man, Monday Night Football last night, Giants stink up the joint. The Marlins, they start. Oh, hell
record 10-13. 10-13 for Jennifer. Soy del campo. If you tried to have a do with her at high noon, she showed up 13 minutes late. Is that a win? Is that a forfeit? I'm not sure. Is that,
Oh, man. All right. Marlins, they start their playoff series tonight with the Philadelphia Phillies. Jesus Luzardo on the hill for the Fish. That is an 8 o'clock first pitch on ESPN. Tommy Hutton going to join us next hour. We will talk a little wild card with the best Marlins voice out there. Who doesn't love Tommy Hutton? His wisdom. Yep. The man has seen it all. He's seen the last full season playoff run for the Fish. So we will talk to T Hut coming up about that.
Isn't it crazy? Your two best pitchers going into the season aren't even close to being your two best pitchers at the end of the season.
You mean, I mean, Sandy, obviously. You talking about Yuri?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Yuri is they shut him down.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like think about it. We were talking about, we get to the playoffs. How you gonna beat these guys twice?
Yeah.
And they're not even in the mix, and they still managed to get it done.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing they got to come back from. But they have shown great resilience, and Jesus Luzardo's been dealing.
Yep.
So they'll try and get this one tonight. We will talk to Tommy Hutton coming up at about 11:30 today, and lots more shenanigans to get to. NBA Media Days, a lot of shenanigans going on around there. The Heat, they start up with training camp in Boca today. I believe they're practicing as we speak right now. So some Heat stuff to get to, some Dolphin stuff, Mike McDaniel on the defense. Lots to dive into here today on a Tuesday show. Back with more after this.
Well, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
WQ.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the show. We got a mixed bag coming up this hour. Heat starting up training camp at FAU today. Hoot, hoot. Fun day yesterday at media day. Who did you enjoy the most, Leroy? I got him at. I mean, I know you're furious with Bam, and you guys have a blood feud now over Domino.
Oh yeah. I got to get that. We gonna settle that once and for all.
The score shall be settled.
It shall be settled.
It must.
That young whippersnapper ain't gonna come in here. I've been playing dominoes longer than he been alive, and he gonna sit here a couple.
He is. I mean,
I play on the phone.
I know that was.
He's basically insulting my blackness. I can't play dominoes. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we will. There will be a showdown.
It'll be a showdown.
Point. It will be a showdown for sure. Game Boy 305 says Fallout Boy Jimmy is going to take over the league.
Ball out boy.
He is ball out boy. That's a point, Frog Boy. Did you steal that?
Nah, I stole that.
He definitely stole that from an account.
My Chemical Spellmance.
Ooh,
I don't think I've seen that one.
That was good.
If somebody else had it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Point for Tobin.
Pretty good. I saw one on Twitter. Panic at the free throw.
I did see that one.
That's good.
Yeah,
I mean, like, it's tough for him to. He's not going to be able to pull this one off because you can't wear those piercings during the game. That's dangerous. Yeah. You know, you can't wear that fish hook in your eye. That's you can't rock that.
What are the odds of the NBA respecting this though?
No,
actually use the headshot.
Yeah.
What choice did they have?
Last year.
Last year they used the old one.
No, only ESPN did. NBA.com used the dread headshot.
That's amazing.
Let's go. We'll go to NBA.com right now. Let's go to the Heat's website because
updated already.
The new media shot should be up. I would assume. Let's go, Jimmy. We go to Miami.
If it's not that and it's still the Dreadhead one.
Well, I know the Heat's website. They're not gonna mess with it. If he wants that's what they're gonna put up. The thing that's funny though is the media guide. That's what's gonna be funny. Let's see. Right now, I see a picture of him. He's got the braids on the Heat's website.
Last year they haven't updated.
So I don't know, but I mean, like that's gonna like. What are they gonna do? I saw they were taking like media guide photos. It was Bam, Tyler, and Jimmy together.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? You got to put it up there.
So wait. Here's what I'm having a hard time figuring out with Tyler. He came in here. He's getting ready to take headshots.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, I'm on TV. I'm live." I'm like, you should already be ready.
You're on media day, Tyler. Of course.
Right.
It's all TV. It's all TV and.
Well, I mean, maybe he's like Jimmy. He had a hairdresser.
He had like a headband
in the locker room.
Going on. I liked his look. He had like a headband that for the most part yesterday. I liked his deal. He had the whole thing with the longer hair.
I got to tell you, Jovic is not small.
No.
He is not small because I'm thinking of Jovic and then I see Tyler, right? And Tyler put on a couple too, but I'm like Jovic is like he's getting his man body.
Jovic, I think, has me the most excited. It was crazy too, just hearing him speak because I remember talking to him last year at media day, and he was just like he was such a quiet kid, and
I think you know what I was
like, he feels like a kid who's got a world of experience now.
Believe it or not, so was I. No, I can't say that. Let me stop lying.
Your rookie year, you were not quiet. I don't
know because I was their first pick. So, you have the press conference and stuff. And I think I started my press conference off by saying, to everybody in Ohio, I'm sorry. I did what I had to do. No hard feelings. No hard feelings.
Started off talking trash immediately.
Yeah. Why not? Look, you come in and you start throwing haymakers. They can't say nothing. They was getting their ass kicked.
That's true. You handed it to him. But no, man, I'm very impressed with Jovic. I was like, whoa. And he just, just hearing him speak about the Dame stuff and how happy he is because he thinks he's going to get a lot better here anyway.
Right. I think it's funny because when you hear a lot of players talk, they don't talk about being traded to another team, as much as they talk about the opportunity to become the best basketball version of themselves here, because you know what I mean? Because the Heat tend to draw that out of everybody.
Yeah, I thought everything, for what could have been an uncomfortable day, I thought it was pretty fun. Like Jimmy definitely lightened the mood with his hair, but I feel like everybody handled all of the.
Kyle was a little.
Nobody shied away from the Dame stuff.
I usually have more of an interaction with Kyle, and he was kind of doing the least he had to do in getting out of there. Right.
Yeah, people were. I guess he didn't speak to the media.
Right.
Which I understand people getting upset about, or people wanted because of like his salary. But here's the thing I would say to that, because I'll be honest with you, the way media day works is they give us like, hey, give us a list of guys you want to talk to, right? And I listed, I think 10 guys. I didn't list Kyle Lowry, and we've had good interviews with Kyle Lowry, but it's just like
uncomfortable situation. What are you asking?
It wasn't even uncomfortable. It was kind of just the idea of, I don't think Kyle's going to have as big a role this year. I don't think he's one of the big stories coming into this season. Of the guys you want to hear from, Jimmy, Bam, Spo, Tyler, I don't think Kyle's up on that list. And I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal that he didn't talk. I think, honestly, probably the only misstep on his part is if he would have talked, I think probably nothing would have come out of it. But the idea that he didn't talk is a bigger story. But I don't think it's that big a deal, because like,
I don't either.
What did you want to hear from Kyle Lowry?
Right.
I mean, like, I put down 10 guys on our list. The Heat gave us 5, which they're always great with that stuff. But Kyle wasn't even on my top 10 of people I wanted to talk to, which is not typical. Usually he's like one of the top 3 guys I want to talk to. But I just don't know. You know what it is? He's older. He's going to probably have a reserve role while he's here. They're not even referring to him as the starting point guard. Maybe he's a little bit prickly about that, but he's not going to not show up to work. Like he's not James Harden. He's going to show up.
He's been a professional his whole career, and even when he was hurt and came back and was coming off the bench, he didn't make a big stink about it then. I just think it's an unfortunate situation that has nothing to do with him or Tyler or Jaime or Jovic. It really didn't. It's just one of those situations. And from a player's perspective, you're being asked to answer questions about a situation you really don't know the details of.
But for me, like last year was probably a lot more awkward at the trade deadline when there was a lot of noise he was going to get dealt than it was. Because honestly, even with all the Dame stuff, I don't feel like Kyle Lowry, maybe he was in rumors, but he wasn't named in a lot of rumors. Yeah. Tyler is the one who took, Tyler and Jovic probably took the brunt of all of that. So I don't feel like that's I don't feel like he's got a lot of ill will towards that. As far as I know, it hasn't been. I think with the Kyle Lowry thing, like, look, this is his 3rd year. They obviously, like, this is the one you're going to bite the bullet on when you pay a guy his age that money. But I think that, yeah, it hasn't been the most perfect. But he had some big moments in the playoffs last year too.
He did.
He was killer in that Knicks series. He definitely, look, at his age, the idea that injuries were going to start to catch up with him probably shouldn't have been a shock.
Well, my thing is that also at his age, if you get 30 to 40% of what Kyle Lowry used to be, that's pretty much to be expected. To expect Kyle Lowry to be Kyle Lowry of Toronto 5 years or 6 years removed from that is being unfair to the situation. You have to realize what you're getting in Kyle. And I think, he's had moments where he's come in and basically everybody else was shooting bricks and he came in and lit it up. So
yeah, in that first year he had here when Jimmy and Bam were both hurt, he was really, really big in that run to keep them. And that was a team that had the number 1 seed. Then he had to step away from the personal reasons. Listen, people don't want to hear. He had a lot of bleep going on in the background that first year. A lot of personal stuff, a lot of personal baggage. And no one wants to hear it because you make $30 million, but that's the real of it. And you want to know something? The team was still successful. They did great.
Life is hard. No matter how much money you have or how much money you make, the circumstances and the situations that compel us in life don't change for anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Kyle's gotten a little bit of a bad. Listen, you know me. I wasn't the biggest Kyle Lowry fan.
Lowry.
I wasn't the biggest Kyle Lowry fan coming in here, but people act like he's walked around like a bit of a bleep hole. Yeah, he's not like the most media friendly guy, but he's also not like get the hell away from my locker room. Like,
yeah, he's not. He's not standoffish or rude or anything like that. He just, I think it's a calculated decision to not have to deal with a lot of the stuff that's been going on this offseason.
Yeah.
Right. And the first question to everybody is, hey, what did you do this offseason? What about the trade? Right. Like that. We got into it with Tyler. We got into it with Jovic, Jaime. We all of them. Eventually you have to ask, just where they were during this whole process. And for the most part, one of the things you should all be impressed with Tyler is as he's gotten older, he understands the nature of that business. And you either are really good and you can be used to get somebody better, or used as, when you get into that last year of your contract, used as a salary dump. Right. And this is just the nature of that sport. However, I will say this, there's different levels of this, right? So for Tyler, like, he got his extension. And then once you start hearing the trade rumors, there's a certain aspect of that you don't have to worry about. And that is, you already got your extension. So wherever you go, you're going to be able to build and improve on that. Right. What your value is.
He's, he said this yesterday when we asked him. He's like, what was the thing? Because I was like, well, what was the thing you were more mad at? Because the thing that he dealt with that nobody really else dealt with is people just disrespected his game. Like, people were saying, oh, you're not worth this. You're not anything. But the thing that he seemed more just annoyed by is like, yeah, I just was stuck in the middle. I didn't know where I was going to be. But I feel like as a young player, the thing that would annoy me more is, oh, you guys don't think I'm that good? Like, but
here's how you can get around that and how you can justify it with yourself. You got your extension, right? So somebody values you. If other teams don't value you, and this is what I say about, different sports. Like, for example, the Giants went the whole opposite direction, right? They looked at the running back position throughout the league, and nobody was paying the running backs. They didn't look at what does our running back do for our offense and what does he mean to our team. You have a different situation than everybody else. When it comes to Tyler, the Heat said, this is a guy we got to pay because we like his growth. We like where he's going. He's going to be a contributor. If those things change in the future as a trade or whatever, somebody valued you enough to give you that extension. And so you always have that.
Take a quick break. Back with more of this.
Previously
Tobin. I don't give a Tobin. I don't give a two who Tobin is.
Corn makes whiskey. Whiskey makes my baby feel a little frisky. Back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Hey, we're giving you a chance to win a photo op with Raheem Mostert and an autograph, courtesy of Hollywood Collectibles. For your chance to win, text the word football to 20357. That's football to 20357, and you can win. If you don't win, you can still meet Raheem at Hollywood Collectibles on Sterling Road in Dania Beach on October 14th. There'll be photo ops and autographs. Tickets are on sale now at HollywoodCollectibles.com. But if you want to win your way in, text football to 20357. Let's mix things up here, Frog Boy.
Howdy, partners.
Howdy.
Roy?
Howdy.
All right, I just want to make sure we're all participating here.
Howdy.
Okay. All right, we're all good.
There you go.
Yesterday was media day, as you know.
Yes.
So a lot of people were talking.
Chatterboxes.
A lot of chatterboxes indeed. None bigger than LeBron James.
Oh, man. What did he have to say?
Well, as you know, LeBron James is returning for his 43rd season.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Is amazing, I must say. But coming back wasn't as easy as it usually was. This is him on when he knew he had to return.
When did you know there would be a season 21?
I think the summer, being around my boys once again, getting an opportunity to, see Bronny continue to develop his game, and also being around Bryce too in his AAU circuit. Being with them, they always give me inspiration. And then, to be honest, if I want to keep it all the way real, the job that Coach Ham and Rob did with the acquisitions that we got coming in, that kind of inspired me too.
That made me come back.
Yeah, I feel like, we got a really good team. They did a great job in the summer of, being able to re-sign some of the guys that we already had here with the camaraderie and the chemistry that we had, and then bringing on some younger, athletic guys that's really hungry. So I'm excited about that too. But definitely had to sit down with my family and talk about what's most important, obviously. And but the game of basketball still was still burning, inside, and I'm happy to be back for my 21st season.
All right. He never was going to retire, so whatever.
Not a chance, dude. Not until he has a chance to play with this.
You think you're gonna pull a Tom Brady?
Just keep moving on.
Keep playing.
What did Tom go to? 45?
46.
46?
Wow, did he?
I don't know if he'll go to 46, but I think he's got a couple more in him. I don't think he's going anywhere soon. Obviously, I don't know, how his son's recovering because he had the thing that happened to him this summer. So, but we've seen, with cardiac arrest, like DeMar Hamlin came back this week.
Well, it depends on if it was the same type of situation.
Depends if it was the same, but he says he's, I think, recovering well. So that's good news. But I never thought that he was retiring. I think that
you don't make all those moves for a team that's not going to have LeBron.
Yeah, but I didn't even think he was retiring at the end of the season either. Right. I was like, come on, dude, you're not retiring. You just got swept. That's it. This is a classic LeBron move.
Dude, you are the worst.
What else is
LeBron move?
What else is in the mixed bag, Marcos?
From one show pony to another. This one got a little bit sticky during the offseason. This is Daryl Morey finally discussing what he felt like when James Harden called him a liar.
Well, I don't think I have to interpret it. He said what he meant, and I think that was well reported on. Obviously, attacks, I haven't responded to that because I think it falls flat on its face. 20 years of working in the league, always followed through on everything.
Why? Let me explain something. Wait.
If you ask me.
Wait. I'm gonna tell you like this. This real talk right here.
Yep.
If somebody calls you a liar and you start talking about your bona fides, then you lied.
You're a liar.
You're a liar, right? I didn't respond. I've been in this league for 20 years and I follow you, dude, you're lying.
Come on, dude. There's no such thing as a GM that doesn't lie.
I mean, we have one down here that has promised and didn't. Huh?
I don't think I've mentioned this. Daryl Morey, he's a liar.
He's a liar, dude.
I don't know if you guys know that.
I don't believe a thing that he's.
Now, here's what's crazy.
I'm not saying that James.
We do realize we're siding with James Harden here.
Yeah, I'm not like, look, I get it. It's a battle, but the thing that's funny about it is they used to be BFF. Like that was his guy.
Yep.
That was his guy, saying that he's a better scorer all time than Michael Jordan. I'm like, whoa, all right, Daryl Morey, calm down. Now all of a sudden it's Frosty.
Well,
but I don't believe
because I promise you, here's what happened. You signed the letter for your last year. We'll trade you and we'll get something in return. When that didn't happen, James Harden reacted the way he did.
For lashing out.
He ain't lashing out. If he was told something and it wasn't accurate, then he would have just opted out. And you get nothing. If you say, hey, opt in and we're going to trade you so we can get something in return, and then they don't, I don't know how else you can categorize that.
Could you imagine spending all this time on debate show on whether or not Zach Wilson's going to be a good quarterback? And yet I feel like Tua was given none of the benefit of the doubt with like not even a third of the stink that Zach Wilson has put up in his career. And they're still going. They're still going.
He has Greeny.
They lost this weekend.
I don't understand why they're.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, what else is in the mixed bag there, Marcos?
Again, we're gonna stick in the realm of the NBA. Jimmy Butler yesterday, also
love
known
him.
as Jimmy Beat World.
Yep,
that's another one.
Love him. Love him.
I think that was Clay Ferrero. I don't know. Anyway, this is him talking about he who shall not be named, the fake number 0. Says that he's happy for him, but then goes on to give a little shot at the end that I know we all love as Heat fans.
I am happy for Dame to be somewhere where, he's wanted, where he has a chance to win a championship. I'm also happy for Adrian Griffin because, to be a first-year head coach and have some guys like you have, good for you. But, I'm still going to be me. I'm going to go beat Dame, Giannis, and Adrian Griffin. On our way to a title, like I've said every single year, and I mean it this year like I've meant it every other year.
I mean, look, the Bucks can say all they want, but there's no way, like, when that man says something, nobody can say anything to Jimmy Butler that's not a Serbian MVP, all right? That's just the facts. Like, everybody can laugh at him and laugh at his haircut. You can say all you can snicker at him all you want, but you can't say, well, he doesn't back it up. Because that's all he does. Everybody else, everybody in the East is on notice. Sorry. They're making all these moves. The Celtics blew up their team outside of Tatum and Brown. They sent Marcus Smart, the depoy. They sent him to Memphis. The Heart and Soul sent him away. Time Lord. Oh my God, would they shut up about Robert Williams all those years? Now all of a sudden, that's off a ship. And who did you bring in? Drew Holiday, who Jimmy Butler beat like a drum. I felt bad for Drew Holiday. Nice guy. Jimmy Butler, down 12, starting his comeback, just goes, I own you. And he did. And he did. So people can laugh. That's not the guy I'd laugh at. Not the guy I'd laugh at. Anyway. What's wrong, Leroy?
You being Tobin.
How am I being Tobin? What have I said that's false?
Nothing.
Exactly, dude.
Okay.
Exactly.
All facts.
No cap.
Nope.
Okay,
no.
You see,
No cap.
No, it's.
Why did you set him up for that?
I tried to.
Tyler said I used it right.
Once.
Really?
But I did.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
And he
Hold
left.
on. Hold on. So let me get this straight. 2 intangibles sitting in a room telling each other how they use slang.
Yeah, but he's young and cool.
Really?
He's cool.
Really?
No cap.
They use it in the right time.
Exactly.
The right time.
Yep.
That's it.
What?
This is not the right time.
Next to Tyler.
How is that
Hero.
not the right time? He
Next
said
to
all
Tyler
facts.
Hero.
I said no cap. Samesies.
No.
You're capping right now.
Oh, okay.
You're capping right now.
That's a little
It's all capping, dude. She's some breakfast cereal.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Dude, you need to stop. You need to stop.
It was only the right time when he was around.
Right.
He's the only one that accepts it from you.
Kind of oozes coolness into the room. So your percentage.
Let me explain something to you. How would that have gone if you would have said that with Bam? Bam would have cussed again.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Now, why didn't you try it with him?
I mean, he didn't tweet a cap. If he would have tweeted a cap, I would have been capped with Bam. But it seems like Leroy. I mean, he was calling. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Bam was calling cap on Leroy, saying he beat him in dominoes.
Wow.
Dude, look at this. This right here is older than Bam. Okay? Right? I ain't gonna let some young whippersnapper talk about a game I grew up with and was playing years before he was even born.
And you shouldn't have left early. You should have taken him up on the offer and gone to his trunk.
That would have been hilarious if there was actual
In the parking lot, he had a table and some
Pull
two
out
chairs.
the table in the parking lot.
Jovic is trying to back. Hey, buddy, let me out. Nope. Sorry, Jovic. You got to
It's a
stay
game
there.
in session.
We are finishing this game. Anything else in the mixed bag there, Marcos?
Yeah, I guess we can hear from him. This is the one that got away on how he'll fit with his new team, Dame Lillard with the Bucks.
Coming into this situation is very, very easy. You know, you look at somebody like Giannis, you look at Chris, you look at Brooke, when I looked at the roster, it was very easy for me to make sense of, what my job is going to be.
Frady Cat.
Notice he stopped after those names. Because who else is on the team? Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Look, I love Damian Lillard as a player. Dude's a Frady Cat, okay? Frady Cat. Couldn't handle the heat, okay? Couldn't, and I don't mean to be but like he could not stand being the bad guy. He bent to Joe Cronin's will. How did you let him outduel you? Because why? He got a little frosty in the facility? I'm disappointed in you, Dame.
He couldn't make a proper stink.
You're gonna deserve Dame. You're gonna deserve this gentleman's sweep. Okay, you're gonna deserve it, coward. Free. I'm glad we don't have him, man. I want after talking to Jovic and Tyler yesterday. Not even worried about it, dude.
I'll tell you something, man. Jaime.
You forgot one more sweetener. Yeah.
Jaime Jaquez. That's
Jaime.
my guy right there.
Mature.
Mm-hmm. Would you know he was a rookie?
Nope. This didn't.
Wouldn't
seem
even
like
know
his
it,
first
dude.
media day.
Didn't even seem like it.
Yeah, been there.
Been there, done that, done a commercial with Jimmy Butler. Great hair.
Oh, yep.
That was a secret, Tobin.
Wasn't a secret. They put it on Instagram. A ridiculous statement by him.
Oh no, you can't. No one knew. No one knew until yesterday.
No one knew it. It was.
How would I know if we all saw it on Instagram?
No, what really took me off guard is when Josh Richardson broke Messi news. I was very scared about it. I was very scared.
That was cap.
Okay.
What?
See,
No.
What?
Nice. You know what?
No cap. No cap.
They used it in the right time.
No, you forgot to press -1.
Why?
Quickly.
Yeah.
Why is it so low?
-1.
Take a break. Mike McDaniel, he's got thoughts on the defense stinking up the joint. That's next.
Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of
Hour two of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Tommy Hutton going to join us later on this hour. Let's get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy a truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
What are you doing?
I'm adding a little jingle to that.
But you don't play guitar, Frog
No,
Boy.
it's Western Day.
But what?
It's Western
I
Day.
understand, but you don't play guitar.
We know trucks.
That is so out of tune.
What do you think of that?
I think you sound like you play with webbed fingers.
Wow. What do you think of my handkerchief?
I don't get it.
Hmm.
Are you like Western Prince?
Yeah. Let me do it again.
The Frog
We
Prince.
know trucks.
That's beautiful.
I'm
Very
gonna,
haunting.
I'm gonna, send it right over to Palmetto Ford. I'm sure they're gonna hop right on that,
You're
just like
welcome.
you hop on everything.
Oh, see my thoughts there.
Wow.
Woo-wee. Marlins playoff action tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies. I hate that team. Philadelphia, I don't have a lot of ill will towards Philadelphia except for the Phillies. Don't really have, I take that back. I hate the Sixers too. But I honestly pity the Sixers more than anything.
Yeah, what about Eagles fans, though? Aren't they a little much?
They are a bit much, but I don't really have a lot of interaction with them. I do find, my producer on Tapped Out is really obnoxious with the Eagles, really obnoxious. Like he ends every conversation with "Go Birds," and I just flip him the bird.
Oh,
so
basically,
is this the earliest that there've only been 2 undefeated teams?
I don't know, Leroy. You have some obscure stats sometimes, dude. I
Just
don't know.
curious.
I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like there's been weeks where it's like blown up in 3 weeks.
Nice,
dude. I gotta tell
That
you,
is
you're
good.
doing the thing. You're
That
doing
is
the
good.
thing. Like we're all getting ASMR because you're lashing out right now, and there's just nothing but ice in your microphone.
Ah.
You're shaking it like a frozen maraca, dude.
Mm.
We know ice.
What kind of
Sorry.
ice?
You got
I'll
cute.
drink- I'll drink the.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Evian. Evian.
Wow. On the farm, we don't have Evian. You just whatever.
You
comes
don't even
out.
look like a farmer.
Soy del campo.
I honestly have no idea where you're from.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know what you're doing right now. You kind of look like a, what is this got? What is this whole
lot of
getup you
colors.
have?
This reminds me of a song. Once upon a time on the farm. You guys get it.
What?
Okay.
What happened?
Sorry about that.
-1
What?
for show poniness.
That's fair.
-1
For show poniness.
Mike McDaniel yesterday, he had some thoughts on the defense, which is not good. Would you like to hear what McCochin had to say about this, Leroy?
Yeah, because this is a situation where it's got to be pretty direct.
You would think. One would think that Mike McDaniel would have, but he's a faithful guy. He's a guy who believes in his staff. You got to believe in Fangs.
But here, you can have all the faith and belief in the world, but what happened. And so you got to kind of comment on it, right?
Well, I would, if I was Mike McDaniel and I was in his shoes and I had to go to Vic Fangio, I'd say, "Hey, old timer,
Fix it, dude. Fix it. I bring you in here. You're flirting with 100 teams, and the old don't like to change their ways. But let me just tell you something right now, Fangs.
Wow.
Fix it, dude.
Think he's coming at Fangs that way?
I mean, he should. I mean, I think that's the only way the old will respect you. You know, the old love confrontation.
I mean, but he didn't. Well, that's true. I do love confrontation, but he didn't go at anybody else that way. I haven't seen him yell at Eichenberg that way. I haven't seen him yell at.
Oh my God, him and Eichenberg, enough already. He's sitting here. He goes, "Well, let me just tell you, only had one lollipop snap." And I'm just like, all right, dude. But what about getting bulldozed every
for the whole game?
Great. Congratulations. He's on his third position and he didn't mess up the snap. Great. Also, he nearly got Tua killed and got Armstead hurt. But other than that, great game from him. So I don't know. Do we have him on Fangs and what he had to say? Yeah. Was it longer than just fix it?
It was a little bit longer, just a little bit longer.
I have the utmost faith in the defensive coaching staff and our players, and I, very candid and let them know that my expectation is that we aren't that team that continually does the same thing, makes the same mistakes, and then, I really, really want to see guys. Come together in their journey and understand that not one player has to make a play on each play. I think there's some of that too, where guys have a high standard. They can feel during the game that it's not living up to their standard. So, all right, well, I'm going to go get, I'm going to go strip the ball from this ball carrier and then not get the ball carrier down. And that leak for 7 more yards, things of that nature of guys just trying to make a play. They need to, the entire locker room, they need to really come together as a group, and we need to, as a defense, play better team defense. And that's the great thing about this game. There's nowhere to hide. So it is what it is. And, that doesn't bother me. You get beat 48-20. You should know coming into the building that things have to get corrected, and that's not to our standard. So I think we're on that process. I think the meetings have been good today, and we'll see what that brings forth on Wednesday.
It wasn't terrible.
It was a long route.
It was here. Here's what he did. When they asked him, what do you think about the defense? He basically replied what we all thought, and it's pretty damn obvious. That ain't going to get it done.
Definitely not.
Right? While not throwing anyone under the bus, he said, we're not playing good team defense. Now, you can take that for whatever it means, right? They'll have different conversations in those meetings, but that'll suffice.
That play was on SportsCenter's top 10 of the weekend. I think Stephon Diggs
broke 8 tackles.
I just sat there drinking my coffee on my couch, and I just go, embarrassing.
That's completely
accurate. I was just like, I wasn't even awake yet. I was getting the crust out of my eyes, and I sit my tush down on the couch. Oh, top 10 plays, and it's just Stephon Diggs. Jeez. First of all, Kader Kohu's flying down his leg like it's a fire pole.
Yep.
And then Brandon Jones is somehow there to make the tackle look worse because he's tackling more of Kader Kohu than he is Stephon Diggs. And then you have Stephon Diggs running the willy-nilly right down the sidelines, and I'm just like sitting there, and if I could just reenact it, it was like embarrassing. I was just
Thank you for that.
What a start to my day just to watch that play. I mean, Stephon Diggs he completely whizzed all over the entire secondary.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was tough, man. It was tough. I don't know what they do, but I will tell you this. I see a team give up as many sacks as I saw the Giants give up last night I'm looking right at this defensive front. I'm like, hey, let's do something to Daniel Jones this week, okay? Because the team don't need a slump buster, but you guys do. Because I don't want to look at them and be like, oh, great, Giants can get right this week. Soft front. No, you better get after them, dude. Because this team has rattled this New York Giants team. They can't pee a drop in points.
Yeah. Was it the only victory they had, that miraculous comeback or something like that?
Yeah, against the mother bleeping Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals that are tanking.
Yeah. But like other than that, they've scored like 4 points a game. They're terrible.
I love it.
You better bounce back, Fangs. You want to know something, dude? I didn't really like your attitude going into this thing, Vic Fangio. Okay.
Here it
And I
comes.
respect your credentials. And Lord knows you're the only guy Tony Romo praised. Ironically, while the Bills were like, ooh, Jim, let me tell you about Fangs. I'm like, dude, he stinks right now, Tony Romo. Tony Romo, do you ever talk about the things that are good that are actually good? I'm just curious about that. But anyway, Fangs, if you don't have your defense show up against this piss poor Giants team, you're no longer Fangs to me. You're no longer Fangs to me. Okay. You're just Victor. Victor. You're just Victor.
Wow.
That's all you are. That's all you are.
You stripped him from his name.
Yeah. I'm taking away his nickname. Only Fangs is going to be closed until further notice, until this dude can get his ponies to run. Because right now, he's just the degenerate at OTB. Just smacking the newspaper on his hip for losers. Get it together, Vic Fangio. I'm telling you right now, dude, I have a Sam Madison for defensive coordinator take in my back pocket. Don't make me use it. Don't make me use it.
Dude.
All right? Because Sam Madison's sitting right there. I know he'll get this fixed.
Jesus Christ.
But you're sitting there. What are you doing? Too much golf at Boca? What's going on, Fangs?
Wow.
You're not holding up your end of the bargain, Vic.
Wow. No notice.
I think so.
You want to know something?
Uh-oh.
He's got one more game before he's on notice, dude. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
He's got one.
Hey,
more.
you do realize.
Don't lose. Yeah, it's a don't lose situation.
You do realize you are complaining about a team that's 3-1.
No, I'm complaining about a unit that's ridden coattails to 3-1.
Bottom half of the league.
Carried by Tua and the Cheetah to 3-1. Okay? But Christian Wilkins, you had all that noise in the offseason. Let's go, dude. Chop chop.
Hey,
Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go.
I'm not putting it on him. Here's why.
Yeah.
He's being asked to do something different.
I'll tell you what's different. Not stopping anybody. That's different. Whoa.
I personally think they should go back to a 4-man line.
Also, I'll say it right now. Okay? I'm not afraid to, because you want to know something? Somebody has to call it out. If we're going to tiptoe around the tulips like Mike McDaniel over here.
Okay.
Zach Sealer?
Oh. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not saying you're there yet.
Ooh. It's our boy.
But
That's our boy.
I'm
dude.
seeing fat cat qualities right now.
No.
The son of the dude gets the bag.
Whoa.
I'm not saying you're a fat cat. I'm just saying
Hey.
I'm seeing tendencies, dude.
Wait, basically you said he don't have COVID, but he got a fever and he
saying,
can't taste.
I'm seeing symptoms. I'm seeing fat cat symptoms. Okay? The only guy out there playing like a dog right now is Von Ginks. Guy basically plays for coupons at Publix.
Wow.
What does Von Ginkel get every game? Like a pub sub? Is that what they're paying him in? Because that's what he's playing like. He's playing like a hungry dog. Arr, arr. But the rich on this team playing like fat cats.
So you're admitting that he's playing like a fat cat?
I'm
now?
not saying he's a fat cat. I'm
You
saying
just
there's
said
fat.
that.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
You literally
I didn't say that.
said
But they're
that.
playing like fat cats, JFig.
So that already.
He's not a fat cat, but they're playing like fat cats.
He's not a fat cat. I'm not ready to call him a fat. He's not like Jason Sanders. Jason Sanders is a fat cat. A1 Garfield. Okay?
Yeah.
But all I'm saying from Zach Sealer is just let's not shed any hairballs, okay? All right?
Wow.
You let's go to work, okay?
Damn. You know, this reminds me of a song.
No.
Hmm?
You're a little aggressive, dude.
Well,
What
the
did I
problem,
do?
the problem with nobody being in the building is that we look at all that crap as props.
Everybody's in the building
There's
today,
people
just like
here.
Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
really?
And we have
It's-
omelets.
an omelet bar
You
today.
want to know the funniest? I will tell you the funniest.
good
Yeah,
and
there's omelets
fluffy.
today
Omelet.
look,
and cupcakes.
There's a nice little cupcake right here.
I don't like cupcakes.
but it's
Carrot
red
cake.
velvet. Red velvet.
No,
Red
I
velvet
don't like the
cupcakes
icing.
and carrot
And
cupcakes.
carrot cake cupcakes.
I don't like the icing.
See
No,
that?
not.
Sounds not big enough
This is
for the
yum.
both of us.
Are you talking to your cupcake?
Got a sheriff. I got a sheriff thing. It was a little ornament on my cupcake here.
Thanks. Take a quick break. Back after this.
The Marlins open
right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin Leroy here with you. Riptide tickets for Ultimate Music Festival. Riptide on Fort Lauderdale Beach, December 2nd and 3rd are on sale now. Part of the lineup has been released with more to come so far. The Black Key is going to be there. Jelly Roll is going to be there. Silver Sun Pickups, Bleachers, and more. Be among the first to purchase tickets. Visit Riptide Music Festival now. The Riptide Music Festival is powered by Ford. I think they want you. Is it riptidemusicfestival.com? Is that what they want?
Yes.
Is that what I'm assuming is supposed to be in that liner?
What did you just say? Riptidemusic.com?
I'm assuming is what's supposed to be there. The point is,
RiptideMusicFestival.com.
I'm sure you go to WQM.com and get them too. Listen.
Yes, riptidemusicfestival.com.
Fix it, Marcos.
I will fix it, my friend.
Fix it. You come here with your little costume today,
No.
and you don't even have it fixed.
Come on, I'm a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy.
Howdy, boy. Sorry.
We're going to talk to Tommy Hutton here in just a bit. We will get his thoughts on the Marlins' big postseason play starts tonight. That was a nice feature on Kim Ang this morning on SportsCenter.
Yeah.
Game is on ESPN tonight, 8 o'clock. And we'll see if the Marlins can get 2 out of 3 versus the Phillies, Leroy. Every time that that's the wild card, dangerous things happen.
Except for the pandemic, right?
I don't count that.
That doesn't count.
That, like, there's a thing. Like, the bubble season, it was cool, but it was so weird. And you want to know something?
Yeah.
Nobody pandemicked it up more than the Marlins.
True.
Remember they lost like half their team? Remember John Heyman was like, the
Right.
Marlins were not partying.
Yeah.
And then they had to play like 100 doubleheaders. So that really was a weird season. Then you had the guy who had COVID. Remember, was it Josh Turner?
Oh, it was
Didn't have
celebrating
COVID.
after the World
Celebrate.
Series?
Yeah, dude, that was a weird one. This one, 160, and the Marlins dealt. I think the reason this feels so satisfying, the Marlins really did deal with a lot of adversity.
A lot of injuries with Jazz,
Injuries.
the 2
Yep.
pitchers.
God, Jazz with some big hits down this run too. He's talked a big game, obviously, about what kind of player he wanted to be and be in important games, and he showed up in a lot of key moments. Is Zeus okay?
You got a fighting ring going on over there.
Yeah, everything all right over there.
Somebody just came in.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
This ain't big enough for the both of us there, Zeus. What do you got now?
Yeah, what's going on over
Yeah,
here?
what do you got now?
What you got over there?
What do you got over there?
What do you got? What are you eating?
Oh,
Nothing.
all right. What did you say?
Oh, I don't know.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us here, Frog Boy.
Ain't big enough for the both.
We're gonna have a showdown at noon. So yeah, man, this is you gonna is this a jacuzzi game tonight, Leroy? You popping up in the jacuzzi? Your knee able to hold up to that? I don't know what the
Yeah.
rules.
I mean, it actually feels good when I get in the water and move it a little bit. But then the second I get out, it's like I could barely walk.
It's kind of like a tadpole.
Except they don't have legs, dude.
How'd this happen?
Well, what about those weird tadpoles that like have the legs? They're not fully
Ooh.
a frog yet.
They're like in between.
That's not called a tadpole. Isn't that called something else?
I don't know what that's called. Frog Boy, what is that called? Puberty?
My teenage.
Tommy Hutton. He's gonna, of course, Marlins television analyst for Bally Sports. We will talk to T Hut coming up here and get into this series against the Philadelphia Phillies. That's coming up next.
It still is a tadpole. It's gross.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, and we got your chance to win tickets to the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs at Homestead Miami Speedway. That is coming your way on October 21st and 22nd. Easy to enter. All you have to do is go to WQM.com/contest. And if you'd like to purchase tickets, go to HomesteadMiamiSpeedway.com. Hey, Leroy, before we hook up here with Tommy, give us a weather update from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm. YourAccidentAttorneys.com. Free consultation 24/7. Call them up at 866-954-MORE.
All right, it's breezy. Winds are about 10-15 miles an hour, and it is cloudy. I would expect some rain later. Current temperature is about 86, 87 degrees.
Mm.
And, I'm looking for the direction of the wind, but I can't tell. I'm going to go ahead on and make a wild stab and say it's probably out of the east, but it's hard to tell because I don't see any planes.
Hard to say. Hard to say. How do you do, Marcos?
He said 86. It is indeed 86. He said east. It is coming out of the northeast at 16 miles per hour. And I believe he said rain on the horizon. You have a stray shower or thunderstorm possible.
All right.
I'm telling you right now, I'm looking outside. It's going to rain.
Yeah.
He's a golfer, man.
Straight my ass.
As Leroy let us know, golfers are weather experts. Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors and one of America's largest showrooms, the Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan there from Valley Sports, Florida. Marlins television analyst, the legend, Tommy Hutton joining us here on the show on the Marlins. Getting ready for a little wild card action tonight, 8 o'clock against the Philadelphia Phillies. Tommy, thanks for giving us time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. You get a chance to talk about the Marlins that are in postseason, which is what a lot of people have hoped for a long time. So happy to talk to you about that.
So much adversity this year, Tommy. I can't believe how much they've gone through between the injuries and even up to the end with the Mets and their weather shenanigans. They kind of power through it all, man. So what can you just say about the resilience of them to get to this point?
There were many times, and by the way, that's the greatest word that I think describes this ball club this year is resilience. But there were a bunch of times, I want to say 4 or 5 times during the course of the year on games that I was working. Maybe it would be in between innings. I'd look at Paul Severino and I'd go, man, I don't know how they're going to come back from this. And he would say, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. And sure enough, they would come back.
Every time.
They've done that every time. And so now I look at this series against the Phillies because they played the Phillies well all year. They were 7-6 against Philadelphia. The 2 pitchers that they're going after the Phillies with, Luzardo and then Braxton Garrett, in their 4 starts against the Phillies this year, the Marlins were 4-0. So they've got confidence playing against this Philadelphia team.
Tommy, can you think of a time where you lose one of your best players in Jazz Chisholm, use your first 2 pitchers starting the season, and still manage to make postseason? Like usually that's 2 of the you can lose a hitter, but losing your 2 star pitchers going into the season, that's hard to come back from. And they managed to do a hell of a job with this pitching staff. I've had questions about the relief at times, and having to use them. They used them a lot this year, but how is that going to play out as far as if these 2 guys who've had success don't go very deep? Is the bullpen going to be able to hold it down?
Well, that would be like Tobin losing Leroy. Let's just put it that way. So I think the bullpen sets up really good against the Phillies. The Phillies have Schwarber, Harper, Bryson Stott, Marsh, all left-handed hitters. And the Marlins bullpen is loaded with lefty arms. And then you have the veteran David Robertson. But Nardi was lights out. Stephen Okert was tremendous. And I just read where he was the relief pitcher of the month, Tanner Scott, in the month of September. So I think with the left-handed heaviness in the Marlins bullpen, I think that really helps against the Philadelphia Phillies.
How do you think it's going to help, Tommy? We talk about the resilience, but just the idea, not only from the injuries, but almost felt like no comeback was too much for them. So do you think that helps in postseason play where things, that it can be very tense, it feels like there's a lot of pressure, some butterflies, but they've kind of been in this chase now and so much for like a month. So how beneficial do you think that'll be for them going into this?
I think it's tremendously beneficial. I don't think there's a game that they ever think they're out of. They set a major league record, becoming the first team ever to be down 3 runs or more after the 7th inning and win 6 games. So they have done that all year, and I think that's great because now you talk about confidence in the dugout. You get down a run or two, no big deal because they've come back from games like that all year. So much of that has to do with going back to the very beginning, and you cannot forget the job that Kim Ng has done putting together all these pieces. But the first piece she put together was hiring Skip Schumacher.
Yeah, and they seem to, they really seem to love the way he brings accountability every single day, the way he prepares them. Like, what do you hear from just the players about what Skip has brought to this team as far as that's concerned to, I guess, really just change their mentality?
Well, you always hear the term, and we heard it going way back to spring training, that Skip Schumacher was going to try to change the culture in the clubhouse, and he certainly did. And I think a lot of that is he's still close enough. He's 43 years old. He's still close enough to have played, and so he knows what these players go through. Hey, he was instrumental. I was just reading this morning in a big win against the Phillies when he was with the Cardinals in postseason. He got a huge hit off of Roy Halladay to drive in the only run of the game. So, if players know this, they know that he's used to this stuff too. And that just rubs off, and it's rubbed off all year.
From your standpoint, Tommy, Jazz had a lot of expectations coming into this year and then had to deal with the injury, but had some really key hits down here, down the stretch for them. And even, you think about the tough one off the lefty, which has always kind of been his kryptonite. What have you seen, I guess, from his maturity and I guess, him always having such a big personality, getting to shine on a big stage like this?
Well, he loves the big stage. There's no question about that. And you think about it, in about 100 games or fewer, Jazz had over 20 stolen bases, 19 home runs. And I think we've seen what he can do in big situations. The unfortunate thing, that big hit against the lefty in New York during the rain, I don't think it's going to count. It's not going to count because that game's not going to be an official game. But we know that he can come through like that. We've seen him do it. He can win a game. He can turn a game around with a bunt, with a home run, with a stolen base, with a tremendous play in center field. So there are a lot of ways that Jazz Chisholm Jr. can affect the baseball game.
Tommy, what was going through your mind with the whole Mets series? Like, just see what was going on. I mean, this is a team. I know you've broadcast plenty of Marlins Mets series. I know that when the fans come down here, it brings a little.
Come on now, don't get me going. Don't get me going.
Tommy Hutton. So, what were you thinking when you're watching this all go down?
Well, first of all, I wasn't there. I was at home, but I was certainly keeping up to speed and watching. And if you had a problem with the Mets and Met fans prior to that, it just enhanced it because, first of all, they didn't get the field ready to play that game Tuesday. They had an issue with the tarp. And so the infield wasn't playable when it should have been because at the time, during that time of the game time, it was not raining. So thusly, they had to play the doubleheader on Wednesday, which hurt the chances of Braxton Garrett if he had been needed on Sunday. So it kind of screwed up the plans. And even the Met owner, Steve Cohen, apologized to the Marlins for the problems they had. So, next year when the Mets come to town, I want to see a whole bunch of Marlins fans coming out chanting, "Let's go Marlins."
I'm with you, man.
Tommy, I thought at what point of the game is it considered official? And if you can't play it, they just end it right there? Because I thought they were in the 7th inning.
No, they were in the 8th inning, but the home team has to bat.
Okay.
So what had happened is that the Mets were ahead 1-0, but the Marlins scored 2 runs in the top half of the inning. So that inning really isn't complete until the Mets get a chance to hit.
Gotcha.
So it reverts back to the previous inning. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. All right.
That city they're going into tonight, Tommy. Those Philly fans, we know they're nasty.
It'll be loud. It'll be loud.
Yeah. What kind of atmosphere do you think you expect tonight for the Fish?
Well, I can attest to being a Philly player back in '76 and '77 when we were in the postseason, and that was at Old Veterans Stadium, which was bigger but not as condensed as Citizens Bank. And let me just guarantee you, it'll be loud in South Philly.
Can't wait for this. This is so cool. Tommy, just what do you think this is as far as significance for the team? You know, they did make it in the pandemic season, but to go through everything they went through, 162 games to get here, what type of, I guess, landmark do you think it is to do something they haven't done in 20 years?
Well, this is tremendously significant because not a soul predicted the Miami Marlins would be in postseason play.
Correct.
And to have the seasons that they had prior, and I'm talking about full 162 game scheduled seasons, and then to, for the first time in 20 years in a full season, get to postseason, it's just tremendous because trust me, no one thought the Marlins would be where they are. And you know what? No team, I guarantee a lot of Philly fans, I know one in particular, a good friend of mine, he didn't want to play the Marlins in postseason because he knows how they've played the Phillies all year.
Right.
Tommy,
it could be a good break for the Marlins. It could be a really good break to kind of put them in their comfort zone to get ready to make a run.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at the Marlins, what do they have to lose? They got nothing to lose because nobody expected them to be there.
Right.
We can't wait to watch it, Tommy. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, and we'll talk to you down the line.
Hey,
Tommy,
always enjoy you guys. What's that?
No quibbling today.
No, not too much. Not too much. You started to get me going on the Mets stuff, but I stayed away from that a little bit.
I understand. It's been many years, Tommy. We can't always. It was so typical Mets. I mean, let's be honest about it.
I play golf with a number of Met fans, so I have to be careful. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Tommy, thank you. Tommy Hutton did a fantastic job. Of course, you catch him on Valley Sports Florida. They've done the whole team there. You know, Jess Blaylock, the whole crew there. Craig Minervini and the whole lot of them over there. Appreciate them always giving us time. And we'll take a quick break and get back into lots of other things on the other side. Back with more for this.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Thanks again to Tommy Hutton for stopping by the show. Play a little damage is done, my friend, coming up later on this hour. Get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
As we talked about with Tommy, 8 o'clock tonight, Marlins, Phillies, game 1 of the wild card round. And we'll look forward to that as the Fish get going. Best 2 out of 3. And winner, I believe, moves on to play the Bravos. So that'd be sweet revenge if we could take them both out. I mean, I'm going to take it one. Task at hand, of course.
Yeah.
Task at hand, but
Isn't it weird? It seems like we're playing the whole damn division.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why the Mets were so furious with their shenanigans, because they're like, oh, we're going to be the team that's left out? Yeah, you are.
Bums.
Idiots. Oh, we brought 30,000 people here to the stadium.
What?
Good for you. Yeah, and congratulations. That was the last time you had hope in the season was opening day.
Yep.
And Macho Marlins Man peed all over your hopes. I mean, even though you guys won that game, but I mean, you know what I mean. We almost won.
Found a secret bar that day. It was a good day.
It was a good
day.
Not so secret anymore.
I guess we got a little bit of drama at Heat Camp. So Kyle Lowry has spoken to the media.
Oh wow!
Heavens to Betsy, he waited a day.
Thought he didn't do that.
But
heavens
to Betsy. Heavens to Betsy. Kyle Lowry waited a day. Kyle Lowry says, and this is from Wes Goldberg, our guy, Locked on Heat. Go check out their podcast. Quote, I expect to be the starting point guard.
That's not any
Lowry.
That's nothing. So does everybody else.
How does Jay Rich feel about that?
So does everybody else.
I don't know. I don't know.
It'll work itself out.
Why
Once
would
you start going through it and start seeing what your role is going to be, right?
Well, they don't have. Look, if I'm Kyle Lowry, they don't have a point guard on the roster. Like, he's literally the only point guard on the roster.
Right.
You know, like Jay Rich is your like 2-3 tweener. Tyler's mostly been a shooting guard in his career. He's played a little bit of point and has a great, can obviously set things up for Bam. I mean, he's a ball handler, but like, they don't have Gabe Vincent anymore. How'd you feel seeing those pictures of him in LA, JFig?
That hurt.
She lashed out quite a bit.
Not as handsome though, right?
No.
Not as handsome, right?
No.
Lost a
He
little
looks
bit of
better
something.
in red or
yeah,
white,
He lost a little something.
Number 7.
Not many people can pull off that purple and gold.
No.
It's I didn't like it either. But yeah, Kyle Lowry. I don't think Spo's spoken yet.
That's not a big deal though.
I don't think it's that big a deal yet either, because I would understand why he would expect it if I saw the roster. I would think, oh, I'm going to start over Josh Richardson. That's basically what it is, right? Like,
right.
I got to start over Josh Richardson.
But here, even you want all your players to come into camp like they're going to be the guy. Like they put in the work in the offseason so that they could be the guy.
I thought he looked
good. Could be the point guard or whatever position you play. That's why you work. If it doesn't end up that way, right, and your role is different, then so be it.
I thought
Kyle to say I expect to be the starter, being the only point guard on the roster, I don't see what the big deal is with that.
I feel like he looked in good shape though yesterday, didn't you? I thought he looked lean. I thought he looked lean yesterday. For what it's worth.
Yeah, he did have that scowl, like he was just annoyed.
Yeah, he did.
I asked him about golf. That's always a soft spot, know. So from that standpoint, yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just not ready to have this be like. First of all, he's there, he's playing. It's not like he's holding out from the Heat. Like, I just think Heat fans got to get a little bit of a grip with the Kyle Lowry thing. It's not that big a deal right now.
It really isn't because
like
because guess what? Especially with the Heat, just because you start don't mean nothing.
Yeah, Kevin Love's going to start. Probably going to get like
6 minutes at the start of each half. I don't think he's going to close.
Steph said he brought bagels for you, and you didn't show. -1.
Mm.
Well, right back at him because I don't eat bagels.
You don't eat bagels? Oh, you scoop.
No.
You're a scooper. You like to scoop.
Right.
What does that
Yep.
even mean? Like
I'm
he's just to put the eggs in.
Marcos. I made a whole breakfast on Twitch.
Oh,
with my scoop bagel.
That's right. It
and
was
you
Robbie,
fill the
Right.
bagel like crater.
I
with
scoop
eggs?
it and then I scramble some eggs and bacon and peppers, and then
Oh.
I put it in the hole and make a little boat.
Wow.
Delicious.
I don't know. I'm just like one of these points where I'm just looking at this whole. I'm like, all right, Kyle Lowry thinks he's going to start. Okay, good. It's not like,
Right.
you know,
What do
it's
you
not
what
like-
do you
It's not like there's some young whippersnapper he's dethroning. You know, like, all right, if he beats out Josh Richardson in camp, like the Heat do a competition in camp.
But that's my thing is that if regardless of what anybody says, they come in there to be the guy, to be the starter. That's what you work for. You work if you're not there to get there. If
Right.
you are there to keep it and be better.
Do
So
I think
they're
he's
all
not-
working for that.
Here's what I think. Like, do I think if Kyle Lowry doesn't end up being the starter, do I think he's going to demand a trade? No, he makes $30 million. Like, I don't think he's going to demand a trade, but like, it's been very clear. Like the Heat were thinking about getting rid of him last year. He couldn't get anything for me. He was on a bum leg. You know,
I just think we make far too much of things where we shouldn't, and that's one of them. And like, if you have 20, they have 21 guys in camp,
something like that. Yeah,
I would imagine all of them are saying, "Yeah, I came in here to be the starter." Right now, from Kyle Lowry's standpoint, being a veteran and being around the league so long and looking at the roster, why wouldn't he think that when he is technically the only point guard on the roster?
Anthony Chang just tweeted out. He says, when Kyle Lowry was told, or when told, Kyle Lowry said he expects to be the starting point guard. Eric Spoelstra remained non-committal and said training camp and preseason will inform his rotation decisions.
Yeah, but that's okay. And Spo said the right thing too. Spo didn't dismiss Kyle Lowry, but he basically said this, which a lot of coaches will say: I don't care who you are, you still got to earn it.
Look, he had Dwayne Wade on the roster coming off the bench, like at one point in his career. Like, all respect, but Kyle Lowry, like, Spo's had tougher conversations. If that is one that they already had last year.
Right.
And Spo's going to do his thing. Like, he's going to be like, we want you ready for this. It's about who closes. Like, he did this with Tyler. Tyler played for 2 years not wanting to come off the bench, and he did.
Right.
I get it. Kyle Lowry
Spo's job. It's Spo's job not to do what's best for a player, but to do what's best for what he feels is going to give you the best outcome for the team. And sometimes that means stretching guys out. Like, sometimes that means, staggering guys who would normally be starters and staggering them in the lineup so you have some firepower each time one of your stars goes out. Like, that's just the game that Spo's always played with the lineup, right? And this is the one team where if you say we don't have a true point guard, I would say it doesn't matter. There's so many guys who handle the ball and bring the ball up
I
the
agree
floor.
with that too. Hell, Bam, we saw Bam closed out the Bucks. He was the point guard for the team.
Right.
Like,
And so, right.
It's and Spo said this was like, what even is a point guard anymore? Look, Kyle Lowry is definitely it's an old school type of player. There's not a lot of Kyle Lowrys in the league. It's Kyle Lowry, it's Chris Paul. Who are the true QBs out there anymore? It's not typically your point guard is now like Trae Young or Steph Curry, where they'll get some guys involved on a pick and roll, but they're usually jacking up a ton of threes. And that's usually with LaMelo Ball, same thing. Like, that's the point guard these days. There's not a lot of people doing it like Kyle Lowry. I think, and to be honest with you, I think that the idea of Kyle Lowry was a fine idea when they did it a couple of years ago. For all this talk of the Heat not getting anybody, look, they got slapped on the wrist for tampering for Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was a commodity their star player, by the way, wanted because he's very close with them, godfather to his daughter, and they made that move happen. Didn't work out. I mean, I wouldn't say it's been a home run success. I wouldn't say it's been a colossal failure either. You know, I think
So you're not saying fat cat syndrome.
No, I don't think he's
Right.
had fat cat syndrome. I think that he's old. I think he's old and his hamstrings caught up with him. You know, crazy. 6 foot point guard, their body catches up with him. Same thing happened to Chris Paul every year. Eat groin. Same thing happens every year. So the fact that it keeps
one more time.
Eat groin. And
that's the reaction I had with the egg toss.
Yeah, another playoff hope dashed by Chris Paul's groin.
Right.
It's like been the same story for the last 5 years. And Chris Paul is what? Is he 3 years older than Kyle Lowry? 2 years
He's
older
38
than
or
Kyle Lowry?
39, I think.
But they're in the,
38.
Kyle Lowry's not too far off from that. I think Kyle Lowry's 37.
37.
So, yeah, man. I mean, look, if Spo tells him like, hey, dude, I'd value at the end of the game more than the start of the game if they do go that direction. I don't think that's going to be like a nuclear conversation the Heat are having. I just don't find this to be that dramatic. Is it annoying to some Heat fans? Yeah, I get it's annoying, but you're more annoyed because Kyle Lowry makes $30 million and you don't think he's that good. You're not annoyed by what his role is going to be.
Nobody. Couple of exceptions. LeBron, one, is going to be that good at the end of their contract, right? You pay those guys the 4-year contract, 2, maybe 3 years. The last one, you're just hanging on.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality of it. That being said, I can still point to moments last year where Kyle Lowry was very effective.
He was great in that Knicks series.
And so you can't just dismiss Kyle Lowry as being over the hill. But what Spo has to consider is I need this guy to be prime Kyle Lowry when we make our final run.
Mm-hmm.
And so that may require me to be a little light on him early. But it's not because he can't play. It's because I need him to be there, in January, February, March, April, May, June.
I think another part of this is Kyle Lowry can't stay in front of anybody anymore. He'll get you a charge. He'll be annoying like that and do his, I think one of his quotes says, "I don't flop," which is hilarious, but he is one of the best charge takers in the league because he's really good at it. But as far as staying in front of guards, look, it's not a recipe for success defensively if you're starting a backcourt with Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry up front. Like, it would be very beneficial for the Heat if they're going to have Tyler be the quote unquote ball handler point guard. If they put Jay Rich next to him, I think that's a smart tactical move.
Because you need to combat the non-defensive players with defensive players.
Yeah, you're gonna have a starting lineup with Kyle, Kevin Love, and Tyler Hero. Why don't you just run Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler into the dust by November?
Right.
I don't think it's a big deal. I think they'll work it out.
It's not. We just talked for 20 minutes about something that wasn't a big deal.
I know, but people are making it a big deal.
Who?
I think
who are people?
People, dude.
People.
Heat Balls 69.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Gotta watch out for them.
Gotta watch out for them, dude.
They're on the Twitter Spaces starting stuff.
15 minutes of game day uncensored. We'll hear a little bit more from Mike McDaniel on that blowout loss and how he's gonna fix it, dude.
The Marlins Experience amazing.
What?
You're stuck with Frog Boys.
No, what are you doing, man? You talking about me?
Don't really want it.
Why are you doing that?
It's the only guy available. It's about availability. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we're back.
Are you on the phone?
Are we
with
back?
Are you on the phone with Leroy?
Are we back?
What is going on?
Jeez, dude. I think I heard you say something.
Wait, what? Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. 15 minutes of game day uncensored here with you as the Miami Dolphins. They're off today. It's a Tuesday. So they'll be back on the practice field tomorrow, getting ready for the New York Football Giants. Today's topic right now on First Take that we see: are the Giants done?
Yes. Yeah, dude. This team sucks. When did they start? Like, when weren't they done?
I mean, like, they got a lot of, if they're not done, they got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
The rest of that division seems to be just fine.
And the guy they're relying on is the guy they didn't pay.
Yep. Tough. It's a tough go for them right now. And the Dolphins got them coming up, and the Dolphins have a couple of games that I really hope they can get that record right after just an absolute drubbing. You need a little bounce back. You need to get things right. You need to get things back on track after, just a throttling, an ass kicking that you took at the hands of the Bills. You got a couple of games here to get things right, fix some things, see if you could shore some things up. Because, there's some very obvious holes, especially with guys being out. I mean, it sounds like Connor Williams and Jalen Phillips, after hearing McDaniel yesterday, it sounds like they're on the mend and they're going to be back. So that's good, because you've already had a couple of games without Jalen Phillips.
It's pretty amazing that you can't wait for Connor to get back.
I know,
wow, right?
Well,
called it the dumbest holdout ever.
I still stand by that.
Okay.
But I didn't know that it was going to end up with Eichenberg being his backup.
That's what it is. It wasn't that he thought he was so good. It's that he knew who was behind him.
You know who's behind me? Old Eichenberg. You know you don't want him. Here is, do you have Mick coaching on Liam Eichenberg's just woeful performance?
There was definitely some plays that, he wishes he could have back. Some that, where particularly in pass pro, where he's kind of getting adjusted to the speed with which games happen. And then, at the center position, the defender is literally right on top of you. It's you don't have the space like the rest of the linemen do between you, so it just happens a little bit faster. So there's a couple things that he will learn from and get better from. It was a solid first day or first game starting at that position that the coaches want him to get better and learn from it, and I know he does too. So it was a good starting point to build from.
All right. Well, first of all,
I'd like a crack at this one.
Go ahead.
First of all, he has nobody no closer to him than the other fat asses who are sitting across from the other fat asses. Right? They're not closer. Like what like he made it sound like all the other D linemen were playing 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, and the nose tackle was right over the center.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, it seems that way to him because they just get flip him over so quickly.
Here's the other thing. Some plays that he would have liked to have back. Right? What a nice way of saying you blew it. right. Like I get it. He doesn't want to throw.
He doesn't want to throw anybody else. He's a tremendously nice man.
And players appreciate that.
I get it.
But at some point, from between Sunday and now, or Sunday and tomorrow when practice gets going, some plays he would like back ain't gonna get it, ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, he has some plays I'd like back too, as in all of them. Try anybody else.
McDaniel was nice.
Try the long snapper at center. Throw some Throw some rocks in his pocket.
Is John Denny
the
available?
the thing about the long snapper is every long snapper I've had was either a fullback or a tight end. So you asking for trouble. So it's not even a possibility.
Why does the long snapper need to have such a different build? It's such a strange thing.
Because you got to run and cover.
Oh,
so he's gonna be like a gunner too, kind of.
No, he snaps the ball and go down the field. You got to be in on the play. You don't just snap it like field goal and then walk off the field.
Interesting. I don't remember how many tackles John Denny had in his career.
That's a trivia question.
How about this? I played with a guy in Cleveland when I first got to Cleveland. His name was Mike Morris, right? He was a utility guy on the offensive line. Fast forward 5 years later, I'm in Minnesota. Guess who the long snapper is? Mike Morris. I used to always tell him, I remember when you actually played a position.
I have stats. John Denny, according to Google.
All right.
224 career games.
Ooh.
11 total tackles.
Damn. That is not
Man,
good.
I did that in 1 year.
You had 11 tackles?
Had a forced fumble, apparently.
Oh, my boy.
Yeah, dude. I played. Let me tell you some of the places Bill Belichick put me.
So is he
I was
available?
backup punt return guy behind Metcalf. Kickoff return. I did that. Gunner, right? You know, the little skinny outside guys. I was out there with my big ass shoulder pads.
Love it.
I ran down on kickoff. And I played running back. That's how Bill did things. If you're our best players, we're going to get you on the field as much as possible.
I like that.
They don't make him like you anymore, Leroy.
They don't make him like him anymore, dude.
What do you mean, triple?
Well, I mean, football.
I mean, and running back, and they can't get paid.
I'm sorry.
I wish I could play linebacker. I would have. If I was going through this right now, I'd try to play linebacker.
Here's Mike McDaniel. He was asking the media for a favor yesterday.
I'd like to start this press conference by wishing my daughter Ayla a happy 3rd birthday. I promise, because with the the teammates that I have in this room, this is going to be a quick press conference, and I'll get home sooner to finally see you on your birthday.
Way to make us feel great inside here.
So what do you guys got?
Best NFL insider there is. Mike McDaniel's baby.
Breaking news, get home, Dad. I tell you what, though, one of the things I realized offensively, they're not moving the defense as much with those motions as they used to. So I think they're sitting back and just playing zone and just backing out of it. But what I would like to see, believe it or not, Tyreek runs that motion around, and if that defender backs off, you throw it to him right now, and it becomes like a little wide receiver screen.
I'm not sweating it, dude. I don't think that anybody's figured anything out with those guys. You want to know why? They're faster than anybody.
I'm just seeing the trend that there's a lot more people doing same side motions, right? There's a lot of people doing that loop-de-loop around, right, with their wide receiver, doing the the speed stretch play where they hand it off or they go underneath and they toss it to them. I've seen a lot of that throughout the NFL, and I think the more you see it, the more acclimated people are with it, even though you have the players that do it better than anybody else. So I'm wondering if at some point they put some additional wrinkles in it so that teams can't just back out of it, or teams can't just, go to, safe, right?
Yeah, dude, you can't let defenses fabric softener, you know?
What?
Get rid of wrinkles.
Wow.
Dude, Marcos,
well, I'm a bit impressed.
Your left hand is not going towards the screen.
You guys
He doesn't want to do it.
You're not even a little impressed.
-1.
Why?
-1 for show poniness.
Fair enough.
It was too much. It was like you tried so hard to get that all tie in, and
Those little-
you know it's probably going to be a -1 if we sitting here staring at you dumbfounded. Like, what the hell is he talking about?
That's why it's a -1.
Why did I have
That's
to
a
explain
-1.
that? I think fabric softener prevents wrinkles. Everybody knows.
Yeah, but you threw everybody off.
Yeah,
Not sure.
that's kind of why I liked it.
Well, you know you're gonna like everything that Tobin does.
Point for
Here's a little bit more from McCoachin on why Stephon Diggs took their lunch money.
I saw it was kind of what my gut was telling me after the game is I saw 2 plays directly associated with the technique and fundamentals at the point of attack by the corner, but then there was other plays that was a trickle down effect from pass rush expectations on that play, from integrity in our pass rush plan, and whether or not we voided lanes for Josh Allen, one of the best in the league to do it, to make plays last longer and go off schedule, and those are so it's a collective group of individuals that, to me, as I see it after the fact, after action, that had more to do with his stat line than anything else. Is guys not forcing the issue, guys not trying to make plays, guys playing team defense. That's what we need to focus on, what we will focus on moving forward.
What?
Huh? What?
No, that made sense.
I don't
No,
think
it
it
did
did.
not.
I don't know
Oh,
what he just
remember?
said. What? So it's a focus of.
Yes.
So it's
You
a
get
team effort. It was a team effort in being terrible against Stephon Diggs. Is that?
Like everyone?
But we're
did
going to
that
be a
in this.
team, and we're going to get out of this.
Now you're getting it.
Go team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just so I'm clear. I was what? What
Daddy
is-
loves you
What is
guys.
he talking about?
Don't lose.
Yeah. I think that would have been more efficient.
You get it, right?
Hey, Cater, don't lose.
You think Cater's still having nightmares? Still waking up like, Diggs.
I think he's probably thinking to himself, why was my own safety under me? How did you get there?
Do you think they gave up because they saw the flag? That's what I thought.
I don't understand. Why did 9 Dolphins continue to hit each other? Like, did they all go to the University of Florida? Like, what happened? Eichenberg's taking out Teron Armstead. Brandon Jones is taking out Cater Kohu. Stop that.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
The problem, Marcos, is not that they stopped.
Yeah.
The problem is they forgot what team they played on.
True. Yeah. Also an issue.
Jesus. All right. Take a quick break. Appropriately. The damage is done, my friend, is next.
Damage is done.
everybody? Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Hey, we're giving you a chance to win a photo op with Raheem Mostert and an autograph. It's courtesy of Hollywood Collectibles. For your chance to win, text the word football to 20357. That's football to 20357. And if you don't win, you can still meet Raheem at Hollywood Collectibles on Sterling Road in Dania Beach on October 14th. There will be photo ops and autographs. Tickets are on sale now at HollywoodCollectibles.com.
We met him at the Jason Taylor thing.
Yeah, nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy. Also friends with Gilbert Burns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Gilbert loves Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, wasn't he like ringside for one of his most recent fights down here?
I don't remember if he was ringside or if he was. Yeah, I think he might have came to UFC Miami, and I think that I think that he go to the gym or something like that.
That's nice.
I don't know.
Gilbert Burns.
Love Gilbert,
He's
man.
a
He
good
said he's
guy.
gonna be back. I talked to him pretty recently. He said that he's gonna be back in like January, February.
Nice, because he had a crazy pace at one point. He was fighting like it seemed like every other month he was fighting.
All right, let's get to damages done.
Yes.
Leroy, are those good?
What are you eating right now, dude? What do you got going on there?
A couple spilt on your lap.
The old ketchup chips.
The ketchup chips.
Two things that Canada sent me that I most enjoy: my
Yes.
wife and these ketchup chips.
They crunchy.
Pretty wild. All right, for damages done, I'm gonna go with this. So Kawhi Leonard.
Oh,
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Kawhi
He's
Leonard,
talking.
That's our boy.
He did. He had some things to say. So there's this whole new policy, right?
Right.
Which is basically his fault. I mean, let's be real about it. Like, if we're going to talk about who has this resting policy over anybody, I mean, Kawhi Leonard, this guy
He does have bone on bone.
hasn't played more than 60 games since 16-17.
He does have bone on bone. So there's
Not
that. Okay.
He said, I'm not that guy sitting down because I'm doing load management. Well, I was when I was with the Raptors, but that was different. I was coming off of an injury. You have to know the details from the doctor. But if the league is trying to mock what I did with the Raptors, they should stop because I was injured during that whole year. But other than that, if I'm able to play, I play basketball. I work out every day in the summertime to play the game. So no league policy is helping me play more games. I got to say, Kawhi, dude, the damage is done, my friend. I mean, like, we already know what it is with you. You've got a bit of a squirrely personality. I'm a fun guy. And they just read it to you. You haven't played more than 60 games in 5 seasons. So you can say that no league policy is going to help you play more, but you're part of the reason there's this policy. Damage is done, my friend.
Damage is done.
Leroy?
So I was going to give it to the Mets, but nothing unfortunate happened. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can still use them as my damage is done, because you got a guy worth $1 bazillion and they can't come up with a $30,000 tarp to cover up the field.
Seriously.
And then he apologizes, but it just seems like at some point he could have made a call and say, do what you got to do to fix this. But he never did. So from that standpoint, him apologizing and saying, I want to apologize to the Marlins and the Marlins fans. No, you do not. You're just trying to soften the blow. The damage is done when you have all that money and you didn't use any resources to make sure that the field could be ready, because it should have been ready on Tuesday because it didn't rain during game time.
Bums.
But I was reluctant to use it because they made the playoffs, even though that game didn't count.
We don't ever have to stop giving the Mets the business.
Okay.
Never have to stop giving them the business.
And how
dude.
did we end up losing that game? That's ridiculous. I know the way that Tommy
No,
explained.
it just didn't count. They
I
said
know.
if it would have counted, you go back to the last completed inning.
Nah.
Because if the Marlins took the lead in the top of the 8th, you can't end the game without the Mets getting an at-bat. See what I'm saying? So the fact that you would then go back to the last completed inning, which would be the 7th, thus giving the Mets the victory. So instead of doing that or finishing the game, they just didn't even count it.
It's malarkey, Leroy. That's what that is. Malarkey.
JFig, what do you have?
Sound like something I should be having my repertoire pretty soon, huh?
What do you have for damages done today, Butler?
Well, my damages done goes to ESPN.
Ooh.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Wow.
You went from not accepting this
Yep.
and obeying that he wanted this picture to be used on your website. And yes, I'm talking about Jimmy Butler.
The beardless, dread-headed picture.
Which I love. He looks very handsome in.
I wouldn't say very, but
Well, he thought so.
he did.
So guess what?
Hmm?
Now you have to deal with this.
Now you deal with that, dude.
Now you have to deal with emo Jimmy.
It's a good look.
It's great.
Good look on him.
I got to tell you,
Hmm?
he looked like he just came out of from doing a stint up north, doesn't he? Like he did some hard time.
He left the chin hair and everything.
Just in his emotions. He's an emotional guy.
Looks like he's on the way to the warp.
He is a genius, man. Like, you knew people were gonna be like, "Oh, Jimmy, are you upset that they didn't get Dame?" He's like, "So disappointed. My emotions and anger." It's like he's just such a great. Like, he handles these things. By the way, did you see? He commented on dating Shakira. Did you see that, Jay?
No, I did not.
What did he say?
Jimmy did an interview with Rolling Stone, and they said there are rumors that you're dating Shakira. Are they true? Jimmy said, "She's an incredible human being and an incredible talent, but you never know what people are doing, so people just make stuff up. Just because we're friends, she lives in Miami and her sons are big basketball fans, that doesn't mean anybody's dating. Just because people hang out doesn't mean anybody's dating. But it gives everybody something to talk about. So y'all take it and y'all run with it. She's very, very cool, and that's all I got." It sounds like he's dating Shakira.
They're totally dating.
I'm just telling you right now. I'm just saying that's not a denial.
They could be married based off what I heard.
I'm just telling you right now. It sounds like you was dating Shakira.
Was she in the box like T Swift?
I did not. We'll find out.
No, she was courtside.
We'll see if she's at the Hornets preseason game next week. Well, then we'll know. She's a real one.
You love running with this narrative.
He loves running with the narrative. What are you yelling at me for? He could have denied it. He didn't.
Said she was cool.
I mean, is she not cool?
Just because
I don't know.
Just because we live near each other, her sons like me, and we hang out at meals does not mean we are dating. Oh, it doesn't?
Hey, wait. What does that mean, Tobin?
What does that mean?
We hang out at meals.
Yes.
They had a meal.
Words.
We're not having dinner together. We're just hanging out.
Hanging out around a smorgasbord, dude.
That's perfect.
It sounds to me like
You are the people he is talking
Wait,
about.
he didn't say no.
He didn't say no.
Did not say no.
Oh, my
Shakira. By the way, there's a lot of pictures of Shakira when you walk into the Heat Arena.
There certainly are.
Wow.
Certainly are. You definitely
that
know
doesn't
that.
mean that they're because of him.
You can't rule it out.
They've been there for years.
No way.
He's been there for years. This is 5th season.
Yep, he's decorating his office the same way
know
we do.
what?
You know, you bring
Minus
pictures of your
one
family.
To all of you.
Why?
Wow.
To all of you.
Minus
She's not the only one on that wall.
She's prominent.
The only one that's local.
Yep.
The only one that's local.
J-Lo's there and she lives here.
J-Lo.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Come on.
Is she?
Really?
She is there.
Wow.
Really?
Super Bowl. Good performance.
He can't mess with J-Lo. She was with A-Rod.
Marcos, what's your damages done?
My damage is done goes to the person who will forever be known as the Typhoon Baboon, the wedgie warrior, if you will. A woman is suing Disney for what she is referring to as an injurious wedgie.
Wow.
Court documents allege resulted from a 214-foot water slide in the resort's Typhoon Lagoon water park.
Damn.
Yeah, she sustained injuries which, you know, in her opinion, are worthy of $50,000.
Damn, dude.
During an October trip to Disney.
Isn't there inherent risk though when you go on a water slide?
Especially that one's like a demon drop. You're
Yeah,
going like
yeah,
50
yeah.
miles an hour.
You're gonna
What
go
do you
on
think's gonna happen when it hits your nether regions?
proper clothing
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, like what was she wearing? She wearing like a thong?
I'm gonna tell you what. When I went there, right, I got me a turkey leg, right? I got me a drink. I got a lawn chair, and I just watch people drop from that ridiculous thing. One, because periodically you might see some boobies, right? Because it just rips everything off.
I mean, you're not
But
wrong.
you just watch for the nonsense. So if she came down and got a wedgie, maybe she should have wore one piece.
Maybe she was. I don't know.
No,
It says
hell
that,
no. If you got on full booty bathing suit, right? Chance of you getting a wedgie from that is slim and none. Because keep in mind, you're laying on your back and you're tucking like this, right? And why would she sue? I could think of a whole bunch of reasons why I wouldn't do it. Pork and beans. That's right.
Wow.
You're vulnerable. Could you imagine being hit by water at 50 miles an hour?
Yeah, it's a near vertical 5-story drop in the dark.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did she think was going to happen in that cute little bikini with a butt cheek showing once it hit that water?
Look,
Them's the worst.
If it gives guys wedgies, what would you think about you?
Huh? If
I'm
what?
saying, if it gives guys wedgies, what is she gonna think? Less
Right.
clothing means less.
Listen, everybody here, I'm gonna give you a little reenactment. First, everybody check their top, right? Everything's on tight, good. Some people wear a t-shirt over it just for that ride. And the next thing you know, the next thing they do is every single person has had to tuck whatever they were wearing up out of their crack. Every person.
It's like a rite of passage.
No, it's just that's what happens when water hits your ass at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, so it was violently forced inside her. Now her husband
Leroy
is
is very descriptive on something he did. I've seen hundreds of people go down that thing.
well, look, it's not only her who's suffering. Obviously, she suffered severe and permanent bodily injury, according to the suit.
Send me a
Even
picture
her
of the bathing suit. That'll fix everything right there.
How's it
You
gonna
think
fix
you was gonna go on the demon drop with this, ma'am?
What if it
Minus one.
what if it ends up being a scuba suit? For all you know, what do you know? Maybe she went in a scuba suit.
She didn't.
I really don't think that's gonna go.
Yeah.
First of all,
inside your
I'm gonna tell
body.
you exactly what happened. Nobody has the courage sober to go up there and do that demon drop.
She was showing the cheeks.
Probably
was her
probably had a couple of drinks.
I
Oh,
don't
let's
like
go do it. Yeah,
You guys are accusing the victim right now, and I don't like this.
She had her Lowry's out.
You're accusing her of being Mrs. Meta.
Dude, think about it.
I mean, I feel
Why
bad for
would
her.
anybody watch somebody go down that demon drop unless you was gonna see something?
Well, damage is done. She will forever be known
Damage
as the
is
Wedgie
done.
Warrior.
The damage is done. We'll take a quick break. Final hour of the show coming on up. Back up to this.
Oh, what are we doing now? Where's
I don't know. He's gonna...
All right.
Well, there you
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy Show.
All right.
I'm Tobin. That's Leroy.
Prove it.
Tobin? So much better looking now.
Your crystal blue eyes have changed, though.
Yeah.
They're now more crystalline.
That's a word.
I also don't hear myself so well.
Maybe
up
it's
the
his,
Hello. Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at that. He's gonna put his headphones back on. Like, wow, this is too loud.
Do you see him?
I have
at
to
all?
turn. No lie. When I use the go to the studio, I have to first thing I have to do is turn it way down.
Uh-oh. We got a special guest joining us in studio. Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Marlins playoff push. He has made his way. Yes.
Feels like the playoffs, yeah. The main event is upon us, and the Philly Slee Stakes are going down tonight, yeah. We got it all for us here today, Leroy.
Macho.
We got Jesus Lozano, yeah, on the bump, ready to mow him down.
Macho, should fans have a problem that this is your first appearance of the year? And in fact, earlier in the year, you were rats off a ship?
I don't know who's rats off a ship. I think what you're referring to is that fraud prima donna Brendan Tobin who was out here. That wasn't me. In fact, the only person who was there day one wearing Marlins garb on opening day was Macho Marlins Man, yeah. Because all I saw in that stands was nothing but Mets fans booing, throwing nothing but Slim Jims at me, so I threw them right back. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm glad you recognized that show pony.
Wow.
He didn't believe like you did.
That's true.
Nobody believed like I did. But it's all coming together for us because the only thing that they got coming for Philadelphia, that JT Realmuto, that snake, that weasel who wanted out, he didn't want to be here.
Wow.
He didn't want to be behind the dish. He said, get me out of here, just like Christian Yelich, the little baby there. Ooh, my back hurts. You know what's going to hurt? Is when the fish pass you in the postseason race. Let me just tell you something about that Philly fanatic, okay? We're going to take the Philly fanatic. We're going to make them panic. We got it all coming together for us. Just Chisholm's going there. We got Jacob Burger. Yum. Delicious. My favorite type of burger is a Slim Jim burger. You put it all there. You get the patty with some dried up little beef right there on top. Delicious. Extra salty.
What? Wait. Hold on.
How did we even...
So you going to make a cheeseburger or a hamburger with jerky on it?
They got the Liberty Bell, but we got the real Bell. That's Josh Bell. Both sides of the plate, doesn't matter. He's going to be hitting towering shots out there at Citizens Bank Park. We're going to go in there. We're going to rob a bank. We're going to go get 2 wins out of 3 games, and we're going to move up there, and we're going to stop the chop. I don't want to hear any of this negativity that's out there anymore. They tried to stop us. The Mets tried to stop us. Weather tried to stop us. Pitch count tried to stop us. But you know what's not going to stop us? Anything. That's what's going to stop us.
Ooh. You said anything?
We're going all the way to the top. Right there like the cream, because the cream rises to the top. Yeah. No further questions, Mean Gene.
Whoa.
No further questions, Murderer.
Whoa.
No further questions, Frog Boy.
I didn't say it. Who is this guy? How does he know our business?
I think I said no further questions.
Heard. Wow.
Good day, sir. Good day.
Marlins, huh? Pretty solid.
I mean,
Every time he shows up, though, that's usually a good sign for the fish.
I'm gonna look for Tobin, okay?
What? Why is he so extra aggressive towards me? I don't understand what I did to deserve that. I don't get it. Jeez, he's okay. He said Hulk croaking. Well, there you heard it. Last time Macho Marlins Man made his appearance known against the Mets, Game 1. We lost, but
Hey
it
guys,
definitely
what
set
I
the tone.
miss?
Yeah, wow. That's your Tobin impression? That is exactly what he's going to do when he comes back.
All
Can I
bets.
just-
All
This guy
bets.
with outfits.
What did he say? What did I miss?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
This guy came with outfits today because he came like when I saw him, he was dressed normally, and I was like, oh okay, well he didn't listen to JFig's advice for Western. Oh, he's back. Oh, hello.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Let me just say one more thing.
I thought there was
Derek Jeter, where are you? Derek Jeter, if I ever see you around the Marlins again, you're going to get the big elbow right there because Sherman could have been doing this the entire time. You slowed it up. The only reason it took us this long to make the playoffs in a real season, not like the fake season with that flu. No, the real reason we weren't making the playoffs was you. Sherman got us there. We love the Sherman. We love Kim Ang. Oh, do I love me some Skip Schumacher? No further questions. I said no further questions.
No further questions. Wow. It's intense.
Right.
Is he officially gone?
I don't trust it. I really feel like there's something going on here.
Just say something.
Yeah, that's what I was just wanting to.
Was your favorite? Let me ask you something, Frog Boy.
You could ask
your favorite? Was your favorite wrestler Jimmy Superfly Snooker? I bet it was.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
wow, he called you Frog Boy.
Called me Frog Boy and said my favorite wrestler was Superfly.
Superfly.
I understand what I did to deserve this. I really don't.
You like flies, Superfly, favorite wrestler. Put two and two together.
I mean, I don't like flies though, guys. I'm not an actual frog. People think now that I'm an actual frog. They ask me for pictures of my tadpole. Ask what lily pad I'm going to be on this weekend. That's offensive. My DMs have gotten very offensive.
Do you change lily pads?
I would like to think so. I don't think they just have one that they just keep as their resident lily pad. I would like to think. I'd like to upgrade sometimes, depending on the rain. Okay. Yeah, sure. No.
Let me just tell him too, Frankie Tonk Boy. Okay, enough of him. I got a song for you. It's called The Phillies Are Getting Lost in 2. Oh, yeah.
See,
he's so haunting.
Yeah, no.
What did he say?
He said, "Don't forget his music next time."
Why do you keep forgetting his music?
Because I don't know.
He played it.
How many entrances does he make? It's like the Royal Rumble, this guy, but it's the same guy every time.
It's the same guy.
Again, what I was saying previously is he has outfits because he came dressed normally, and then all of a sudden he's in the nude right before 10 o'clock starts, and he gets into his Western outfit. Then he goes to an extended bathroom break. All of a sudden, Macho Marlins Man comes back. I can't keep track of this.
Well, really remember, Tobin.
Okay, all right, yep. I'm just gonna
Get out of the way, Stone Toad Steve Austin. I don't want to hear him anymore. His attitude. Get him out of here.
He really just called you Stone Toad.
I told him frog. I've lost track at this point. All right. By the way, we looked it up. In between a tadpole and a frog, it's a froglet. Froglet.
That sounds
No,
cute.
it's not.
It is a froglet.
Actually, they did do the research. Yes.
Yeah, we did the research this time.
So froglet is when he gets his legs, but he can't hop yet.
Yeah, it's like a teenage tadpole.
Teenage? It happens in a week.
Well, you know. I can see fast.
How old are you, Leroy? I mean, Marcos, you guys are driving me crazy.
Wow.
If you smell
okay.
what the croak is cooking.
I'm being heckled by Macho Marlins Man right now. I'm supposed to be celebrating. I don't get it.
You know why.
Why is it a teenage tadpole called a froglet, but it happens in like a couple of days?
One thing that we gotta realize. Get the camera over here. Put the camera over here.
You can fix it. Yeah.
Let me just tell you.
Okay.
Let me just say.
Alrighty.
You know, you better have your shades on today for the game.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a lot of Jorge Soler power today going for the Phillies. You better be knowing it's not going green. The only thing that's gonna be looking green is Bryce Harper, that prima donna who doesn't have his hair good as this. Doesn't have his hair good as this.
Really nice hair.
Thank you.
I really thought it was going to end in somehow me being the only green thing there.
Oh, you gave him something.
Oh, I escaped that one. Luckily, I feel like he's taking a phone call in the hallway right now.
A phone call?
I'm not sure, man.
He's a very busy person.
It's actually off the rails at the moment.
Oh, well.
I blame the red velvet cupcake. I think there was more than red velvet in that.
Really? You know what?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what is delicious.
Okay.
Chris Jericho, move.
Get out of here, Fly 2J.
Isn't there supposed to be trucks we're supposed to know?
Fly 2J is a point.
Fly 2J.
I'm scared, dude. I'm literally.
I think we should go to
traumatized.
break.
Yeah, before he comes back and
Yeah.
breaks in with another disrespectful.
Let's go hide you.
Thank you.
WQAM brought
No. All right, welcome back. Tobin Leroy here with
560 WQAM. Hey, football season is here, and so is our Dave & Buster's gift card giveaway. We got your chance to win a $250 gift card from Dave & Buster's to watch college football, the NFL, and more. To enter, go online to WQAM's contest page. Submit your entry. If you win, you can go to Dave & Buster's in Hollywood with your gift card and spend the day watching your favorite team. On us, Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play. Watch sports at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. We are streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. The channel, Miami 560 WQM. If you missed any of today's show, you guys can go watch the full version on our Twitch page or on YouTube. You guys can watch clips as well. And also on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. And, of course, follow the Tobin Leroy podcast, available for you on all podcast platforms. Canes will be back in action this week. They are taking on Georgia Tech, so they start up ACC play. Very excited about that. Cam Kitchens is going to play, which is really, really great news because he was, obviously, that scary injury a couple weeks back, and looks like he's going to be good to go according to his teammates, Mark Cristobal. That's really, really exciting for the Canes star safety. He's back out there doing his thing and getting things going. He is just seems like a genuinely great dude. So can't wait to see him ball out and do his thing against the Ramblin' Wreck this week, as you'll be able to hear that game right here on 560 WQAM as the Canes return from their thumping of Temple and having a week off. Now the Hurricanes get to go out back home, take on Georgia Tech. Canes are 21-point favorites. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff from Hard Rock Stadium. So my calculations, like a 4 p.m. pregame for Canes and Yellow Jackets. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing them back in action and getting things going. Right now, Tyler Van Dyke's playing at just a tremendous level. Him, the kind of connections he's had with Xavier Restrepo this year. Canes are rolling, man. So can't wait to see them back on the field after a week away of not being in action.
What's up with the echo?
You gotta pop him up there, JFig. Pop up Leroy. But what's his PC? Hello, Leroy.
Why are you echoing?
Because
There we
double
go.
list. So yeah. Just talking some Canes. Very excited to see him back in action this week.
Yes. Yes. They played Georgia Tech.
Yep.
8 o'clock Saturday night.
8 o'clock, dude. 8 o'clock is your kickoff. You got that going. And then we'll be rooting for little Tua today. Little Tua this week going up against Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't know why I call him little Tua. His name's not Tua. It's Talia. But rooting for Tua's little brother against Ohio State. Think they can get it done?
So they're both TT. Their both initials are
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But
I
that
don't
one's-
know. I mean, they score a bunch of points. He throws for a ton of yards.
Yeah, dude. If you could do that, I mean, you want to talk about the Tagovailoa family getting even more popular down here. Beat Ohio State. That'll throw something on the fire.
Yep.
Get a good weekend for the Tagovailoas. Beat Ohio State, and then the Dolphins bouncing back, getting going. Too much somberness, even though Vic Fangio needs to get things fixed.
What year is this for young Tua? Is this junior or senior year, right?
I guess it'll be a senior year because I think he was offered. He said he was offered by an SEC school. Jump.
He was at Alabama.
He was at
Right?
Alabama. Yes.
Right.
Sounds like they tried to slide in his DMs and get him back. But
Oh,
Tua
yeah.
stayed, but Talia stayed loyal. He was not a rats off a ship, and he stayed.
Like somebody I know.
Hmm?
Rats off a ship with the Marlins.
I'm not taking responsibility alone unless you do it with me.
All right.
Because we apologized. I apologized. You accepted
Yeah,
my
I
apology.
apologize. Yeah.
You know? And by the way,
the only one that was not rats off a ship.
Tommy Hutton basically said that he was rats off a ship at points too. He goes, listen, I didn't know they were going to cover at certain points this year. So it's pretty crazy that they are here. They have dealt with a lot. With what they went through this year between
They have.
the injuries, between Sandy not being Sandy, between having to have a 14-game over 500 cushion, blowing it, going all the way under 500 and having to fight their way back. Great moves at the trade deadline, getting Jazz back.
It's wild that they're having. I mean, everybody that they seem to throw out there for the ninth inning was bringing a gas can, whether it was Robertson or Puck or, Tanner Scott's kind of the only one who kept it the most together. But like, it was a tumultuous year. There was a lot of close wins, a lot of close losses.
That's why it's 162 games, because you can make it through the ebbs and flows of the baseball season.
Not everybody can.
Not everybody can. You're right.
Not everybody can.
But they managed to do it. So I think we probably should have been more patient with them, even though it looked, woo.
Yeah. But now they have a chance tonight to, they can really shake things up tonight. You get that first win out of the 8, and the way Jesus Luzardo's pitching. Oh, I hate that ballpark too. It's like a little toy. It's like a little toy ballpark. It's so small. Remember Ricky in Alaska just serving up meatballs to Ryan Howard left and right. Ricky in Alaska takes them out against Ryan Howard. Meatball out of the park.
Speaking of meatballs, you know who we missed? Macho Marlins Man.
What do you mean?
He was here in studio.
He was?
He was.
Wow. I'm sorry. I got held up by Galen. Galen wanted to meet about something.
He was also heckling Marcos. So Marcos is obviously not here because he started crying.
That's why Marcos left?
Yeah.
I noticed he was kind of like a little puffy-eyed when he left. I just thought it was like,
He
frog
hurt his
things.
feelings.
Wow.
Frog
What happened?
things.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
What
he got
frogs? What are you doing?
frog
Like
amphibian
his lily
motions.
pad overflowed or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what type of
It's
things.
just like, well, Marcos, he has himself to blame because he said when the tadpole gets his legs, that's a teenager. I'm like, in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks?
Is that a long? How long is the process from legs to tadpole?
To
no
frog?
legs to legs.
All right.
No,
Like,
you
you
guys
didn't
just
know this.
research.
Bill
Oh,
Nye, the science guy. How
Oh.
long before tadpole? Whoops. Before.
This is 5 to 9 weeks.
Well,
It's a hell of a development.
I guess it was not a week, Leroy.
That's a
This
hell of
one says about 14 weeks.
Wow. That's probably for the bullfrogs.
They said once hatched, tadpoles take about 14 weeks to transform into tiny frogs. Toad tadpoles take a little bit longer, becoming toadlets after about 4 months.
Toadlets?
They develop back legs first, then front legs, while the tadpole's tail shrinks and his body becomes less rounded.
Yeah, you got to have your hind legs first, dude. Like that's what everybody knows. Even, like really, in a lot of ways, Liam Eichenberg is like a tadpole.
I
I
mean,
don't know what that means.
yeah, I would say he's more like a magician. Now you see him, now you don't.
He's more like he's more like a bullfighter. Olay.
Yeah.
Just letting everybody through to Tua. At least Tua was able to hold up and take the hits.
Last year was a fluke.
Nope. Jiu-jitsu, dude. I saw the way he fell.
It was, but I'm just saying it was a fluke that you get tackled that much and hit your head.
Did all that. He put on that muscle. He did jiu-jitsu. It's all there for him, baby.
All right.
It was. I'm not gonna let you just sit here and dismiss Tua.
I'm not dismissing him at all.
Did have a lot of intense training this offseason.
A lot of jiu-jitsu, dude. A lot. And we're seeing it. The rolls, the falls. Now all we need is to bounce back against these terrible Giants. And they
I
stink.
hate when you say terrible Giants. You're making a terrible assumption.
Oh, so you can make descriptions of my assumptions, but I can't make factual statements about the Giants?
They're terrible, but so was Arizona.
Huh?
When they played, they've been in every game.
Doesn't that speak more to the Giants? It's a Giant.
Yeah, the Giants came back.
Yeah, like they were down big to Arizona. So, like, what does that say? And then Arizona beat. I mean, Arizona did. I think if you were going to use that example, you use it against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But look, I think that the Dolphins lost to a very good Bills team for sure. The Bills were clicking on all cylinders. But I honestly, like, if the Dolphins do end up losing a game this week, I do feel like it's going to feel like a lot like last year. Like momentum going to be taken
Yeah.
out hot start.
That I agree with.
You know,
I would like to see them turn it around quicker with how they play, what they do, how they execute, and especially on defense. Stop somebody, please.
Brian Dable, I'll tell you one thing about him though. Got a bad flustered face. You know, some people can handle.
Speaking of meatballs,
yeah, when Mike McDaniel, I'll tell you, when things go bad for Mike McDaniel, he still handles it well. He doesn't look flustered. You know, poker face for Mike McDaniel. But for Dayball, he wears it. He wears it a little bit. You can see it. It's just like, this is really bothering him. So I don't know. One man who's never flustered though, Tommy Hutton. We're gonna talk a little wild card action with T Hut. Get you ready for tonight's action. Tommy Hutton, he joins us next. guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors and one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. There from Bally Sports, Florida, Marlins television analyst, the legend, Tommy Hutton, joining us here on the show on the Marlins, getting ready for a little wild card action tonight, 8 o'clock against the Philadelphia Phillies. Tommy, thanks for giving us time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. You get a chance to talk about the Marlins that are in postseason, which is what a lot of people have hoped for a long time. So happy to talk to you about that.
So much adversity this year, Tommy. I can't believe how much they've gone through between the injuries and even up to the end with the Mets and their weather shenanigans. They kind of power through it all, man. So what can you just say about the resilience of them to get to this point?
There were many times, and by the way, that's the greatest word that I think describes this ball club this year is resilience. But there were a bunch of times, I want to say 4 or 5 times during the course of the year on games that I was working. Maybe it would be in between innings. I'd look at Paul Severino and I'd go, man, I don't know how they're going to come back from this. And he would say, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. And sure enough, they would come back
every time.
They've done that every time. And so now I look at this series against the Phillies because they played the Phillies well all year. They were 7-6 against Philadelphia. The 2 pitchers that they're going after the Phillies with, Luzardo and then Braxton Garrett, in their 4 starts against the Phillies this year, the Marlins were 4-0. So they've got confidence playing against this Philadelphia team.
Tommy, can you think of a time where you lose one of your best players in Jazz Chisholm, you use your first 2 pitchers starting the season, and still manage to make postseason? Like usually that's 2 of the you can lose a hitter, but losing your 2 star pitchers going into the season, that's hard to come back from. And they managed to do a hell of a job with this pitching staff. I've had questions about the relief at times, and having to use them. They use them a lot this year, but how is that going to play out as far as if these 2 guys who've had success don't go very deep? Is the bullpen going to be able to hold it down?
Well, that would be like Tobin losing Leroy. Let's just put it that way. So I think the bullpen sets up really good against the Phillies. The Phillies have Schwarber, Harper, Bryson Stott, Marsh, all left-handed hitters. And the Marlins bullpen is loaded with lefty arms. And then you have the veteran David Robertson. But Nardi was lights out. Stephen Okert was tremendous. And I just read where he was the relief pitcher of the month, Tanner Scott, in the month of September. So I think with the left-handed heaviness in the Marlins bullpen, I think that really helps against the Philadelphia Phillies.
How do you think it's going to help, Tommy? We talked about the resilience, but just the idea, not only from the injuries, but almost felt like no comeback was too much for them. So do you think that helps in postseason play where things, that it can be very tense, it feels like there's a lot of pressure, some butterflies, but they've kind of been in this chase now and so much for like a month. So how beneficial do you think that'll be for them going into this?
I think it's tremendously beneficial. I don't think there's a game that they ever think they're out of. They set a major league record becoming the first team ever to be down 3 runs or more after the 7th inning and win 6 games. So they have done that all year, and I think that's great because now you talk about confidence in the dugout. You get down a run or 2, no big deal because they've come back from games like that all year. So much of that has to do with going back to the very beginning, and you cannot forget the job that Kim Ng has done putting together all these pieces. But the first piece she put together was hiring Skip Schumacher.
Yeah, and they really seem to love the way he brings accountability every single day, the way he prepares them. Like, what do you hear from just the players about what Skip has brought to this team as far as that's concerned to, I guess, really just change their mentality?
Well, you always hear the term, and we heard it going way back to spring training, that Skip Schumacher was going to try to change the culture in the clubhouse, and he certainly did. And I think a lot of that is he's still close enough. He's 43 years old. He's still close enough to have played, and so he knows what these players go through. Hey, he was instrumental. I was just reading this morning in a big win against the Phillies when he was with the Cardinals in postseason. He got a huge hit off of Roy Halladay to drive in the only run of the game. So, if players know this, they know that he's used to this stuff too. And that just rubs off, and it's rubbed off all year.
From your standpoint, Tommy, Jazz had a lot of expectations coming into this year and then had to deal with the injury, but had some really key hits down here, down the stretch for them. And even, you think about the tough one off the lefty, which has always kind of been his kryptonite. What have you seen, I guess, from his maturity and I guess, him always having such a big personality, getting to shine on a big stage like this?
Well, he loves the big stage. There's no question about that. And you think about it, in about 100 games or fewer, Jazz had over 20 stolen bases and 19 home runs. And I think we've seen what he can do in big situations. The unfortunate thing, that big hit against the lefty in New York during the rain, I don't think it's going to count. It's not going to count because that game's not going to be an official game. But we know that he can come through like that. We've seen him do it. He can win a game. He can turn a game around with a bunt, with a home run, with a stolen base, with a tremendous play in center field. So there are a lot of ways that Jazz Chisholm Jr. can affect the baseball game.
Tommy, what was going through your mind with the whole Mets series? Like, just see what was going on. I mean, this is a team. I know you've broadcast plenty of Marlins Mets series. I know that when the fans come down here, brings a little.
Come on now, don't get me going. Don't get me going.
Tommy Hutton. So, what were you thinking when you were watching this all go down?
Well, first of all, I wasn't there. I was at home, but I was certainly keeping up to speed and watching. And if you had a problem with the Mets and Met fans prior to that, it just enhanced it because, first of all, they didn't get the field ready to play that game Tuesday. They had an issue with the tarp. And so the infield wasn't playable when it should have been because at the time, during that time of the game time, it was not raining. So thusly, they had to play the doubleheader on Wednesday, which hurt the chances of Braxton Garrett if he had been needed on Sunday. So it kind of screwed up the plans. And even the Met owner, Steve Cohen, apologized to the Marlins for the problems they had. So, next year when the Mets come to town, I want to see a whole bunch of Marlins fans coming out chanting, "Let's go Marlins."
I'm with you, man.
Isn't Tommy? I thought at what point of the game is it considered official? And if you can't play it, they just end it right there. Because I thought they were in the 7th inning.
No, they were in the 8th inning, but the home team has to bat.
Okay.
So what had happened is that the Mets were ahead 1-0, but the Marlins scored 2 runs in the top half of the inning. So that inning really isn't complete until the Mets get a chance to hit.
Gotcha.
So it reverts back to the previous inning. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. All right.
That city they're going into tonight, Tommy. Those Philly fans, we know they're nasty.
It'll be loud. It'll be loud.
Yeah. What kind of atmosphere do you think you expect tonight for the Fish?
Well, I can attest to being a Philly player back in 76 and 77 when we were in the postseason. And that was at Old Veterans Stadium, which was bigger, but not as condensed as Citizens Bank. And let me just guarantee you, it'll be loud in South Philly.
Can't wait for this. This is so cool. Tommy, just what do you think this is as far as significance for the team? They did make it in the pandemic season, but to go through everything they went through, 162 games to get here, what type of, I guess, landmark do you think it is to do something they haven't done in 20 years?
Well, this is tremendously significant because not a soul predicted the Miami Marlins would be in postseason play.
Correct.
And to have the seasons that they had prior, and I'm talking about full 162 game scheduled seasons, and then for the first time in 20 years in a full season, get to postseason, it's just tremendous because trust me, no one thought the Marlins would be where they are. And you know what? No team, I guarantee a lot of Philly fans, I know one in particular, a good friend of mine, he didn't want to play the Marlins in postseason because he knows how they've played the Phillies all year.
Right.
Tommy,
it could be a good break for the Marlins. It could be a really good break to kind of put them in their comfort zone to get ready to make a run.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at the Marlins, what do they have to lose? They got nothing to lose because nobody expected them to be there.
Right.
We can't wait to watch it, Tommy. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, and we'll talk to you down the line.
Hey,
Tommy,
always
no
enjoy
quibbling.
you guys. What's that?
No quibbling today.
No, not too much. Not too much. You started to get me going on the Mets stuff, but I stayed away from that a little bit.
I understand. It's been many years, Tommy. We can't always. It was so typical Mets. I mean, let's be honest about it.
I play golf with a number of Met fans, so I have to be careful. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Tommy. Thank you. Tommy Hutton did a fantastic job. Of course, you catch him on Valley Sports Florida. They've done the whole team there. Jess Blaylock, the whole crew there. Craig Minervini and the whole lot of them over there. Appreciate them always giving us time.